Good morning, beautiful people. It is Friday, the 9th of May. Welcome to TDA, the day after your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by you guys, the culture. And like we are every blessed day, we are hosted by the very, very, very best. Brent, you in the building?
Morning.
How you doing, man?
Blessed and highly favored in yourself.
I'm all right, man. I noticed yesterday I didn't tell the people we have a special guest today.
All right.
They've been there a couple of times. But they're back to bless us with their presence.
Amen.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, all. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. What is it? Good morning. Is it Texas, Houston, Amsterdam? Morning, TDA gang, TDA community. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Wonderful.
So before we get into the admin, let me say hello to everybody in the chats. Good morning, Iman B, Energy T, Davina, Imi, Snow Globe, Christy. Oh crap! I have so much crap to tell you.
Why do you say Christine and say you got so much crap to tell me? Is it my hearing?
No. It's this speaker. I've put it up. Each time it is people come on the Discord without people needing to put the earphones on. For example,
Okay.
you know he has it on. He doesn't need it.
Yeah, it's me.
Yeah. So let me just turn it down so it's not weird. How about that?
Hello. Okay, yeah, that's
My
not
friend,
bad.
and this is worse, right? Because I can now hear.
Oh.
All right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said you got a lot to tell me.
Yeah, and what it's because when I mentioned Christy, this particular person knows Christy.
Okay,
And then
yeah.
I just dragged the memory. I was like, crap.
Oh, yeah, you got so much to tell me.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's not
lovely.
about Christy. It's the person.
Okay.
Anyway.
Big up Christy though.
One time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Bex, Mr. Ashlows, Catherine, DCF Mooks. I'm always kind of puzzled how to pronounce this. Mulibel?
Nailed it.
Chijoke Ebimi, It's Bambino, Ghana Greatness. Who else we got? Yvette, Dr. Amani, Crud Crow, Imi Snow Globe, K. Ade, and the rest of you all beautiful people. How was Nigeria?
Look at that smile on my face.
Yes, look at it.
I really love being in Lagos, you know. Like I really do. I just wish my grandparents were alive. Do you get what I mean? Like I just love being there so much. But Lagos was lovely. Lagos was good. I feel like Lagos always tells me when it's time to go though. It starts raining. I promise you, every single time. Since I started going back last year, as my trip is coming to an end, we get heavy rains.
Wow.
So I feel like that's kind of like our sign of like, girl,
Go back.
yeah, like, you know, it's been nice having you here go back. However, though, I came back to the UK. So I actually got back on Sunday. Monday, obviously, bank holiday. I was absolutely shattered. Tuesday, I was back at my other job, shaking my ass for a white man.
Sorry.
What happened?
Sorry, I just felt a twinge in my spirit. You
What?
just said you've been back on Sunday?
Yeah.
So,
Why am I here on Friday?
No.
I'm walking you through it.
No. I said, like, I could have.
You could have called me to catch up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but remember we were meant to catch up even while I was there. So,
Serious.
yeah, remember we said, yeah, but you've been busy though.
When I tell you what has happened, you understand as to why my mind has been anywhere.
No, fair. Because, fair. No, like, fair. Because I knew, not in a bad way, but I knew the state of you before I left.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're not,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So I get it. Yeah. So I absolutely get it. So, Tuesday, that. Wednesday, I was popped down. I don't know what happened. I'm taking it as the UK starting to say, I think you might be allergic to this place. I think I had a stomach bug. Sorry, I had a stomach bug. But I only ate one proper meal that I cooked for myself. And it's a meal I've cooked every time. So I don't know if it's an intolerance or if it was a bug. But Wednesday, I'm here by the glory of God. That's all I was saying. I'm here, like, the pain that woke me up, I think is an intolerance because that's how it usually happens. It's like a stomach pain, like it's like I'm being punched and my insides are being squeezed. Oh, that was horrible. So that was my Wednesday. And then yesterday, thankfully, I was fine again. And then I'm here today. To be honest, I hadn't eaten properly since Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So I ate yesterday evening. I had to just have crackers and water. It's crazy. And you know I love food. And everything I wanted to eat, I kept Googling and it was like, you can't have that. I was like, fried yam. It said no. I was like, okay, Gary and groundnuts. It said no. I said, all right, roasted plantain. It said no. I said, okay, rice and stew. It said no. So yeah, I've been going for a lot. And I had food yesterday, but thankfully I was just like, hopefully it's fine so I can be here in the morning and the glory of God I'm here. So that was great. But Lagos was a lot of fun. Just I feel like when I'm there, I don't do much. Like I'm not a going out person like that. But it's just nice being at home. I can't lie, man. Black people, we've got to go back to where we're from.
I'm telling you.
It's like it's just different. So that was nice. I had a good time.
On the black people, we have to go back to where we're from thing. I watched some stupid TikTok.
Be mic up a bit.
I watched some stupid TikTok of some American black,
Oh gosh.
some black lady, right?
Oh fair.
Yeah. And she's gone back home.
She's going to colonize it.
No.
Oh, okay. 'Cause some of you do that, especially Ghana and Gambia. They love to go back there and colonize them. So,
And within a few months, she's now updated
yeah.
TikTok on her stay. And she's like, I made a mistake. I should have never basically encouraged people to come back here because of the insects, because of the food.
The insects?
Lack of yeah, she didn't like the insects.
What's insects?
Mosquitoes and that.
I've always said insects.
That's what I thought first of all.
I was like, oh, like what group is that? What have I missed?
As an insects.
Yeah, I get it now.
How do I say it properly?
Insects. You said it right. It's just I thought there was another.
That's right. It's what you brought back from
Category.
Nigeria and Lagos. So it's just
I brought back good vibes. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Hallelujah.
And she was like, it's so much better in America. When it is a go back, I'm never coming back again. I don't know why it is people been fooling me about going back to Africa, going back to Africa, going back to
That was
Africa.
good, girl. You stay over there.
And
You stay over there with
apparently she's like, all the people are always trying to scam you, you know?
You stay over there with Trump, to be fair. People like that shouldn't go back anyway. Because I think people like that are the ones... Because I think when people go back home, some people have this mindset where they think that because they come from a Western country, you're better than them. And that's the colonizer's mindset. And if you don't ever think that you're better than anybody, you get... Like, obviously, he's got flaws, but it's not more flaws than the UK has. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's not. There's things that I deal with here, and there's a different version of something else that I'm going to deal with over there.
Yep.
But nowhere in life, no society is perfect to live in. I think people that come from Western countries have a thing where when they go back to African countries, they feel this need to like complain about stuff, and it annoys me. Like even when I was coming back, so my airline, I went with Virgin, and before I went, they let us know that they've changed the time for the return flight. Right? It's usually at 9 something, but they made it 10 something for whatever reason. They sent the email before I even went, because when I saw that email, I thought, oh crap, does that mean my going one is different? So there's been, and I was there 5 weeks. So we've known for like 8 weeks, right? I'm at the airport now waiting to board the plane coming back. I hear this auntie next to me talking about, oh, yeah, she's like, I thought it was going to be early, and it's not early, but she's like, of course it can never be on time. And I said, oh, that's my alarm. Sometimes I usually wake up. And I was just like, this is what I'm talking about. It's that mindset of like black people, African countries can't do things. I was thinking, first of all, this is Virgin Atlantic. It's not even Air Peace or anything. Do you know what I mean? It's not even Nigerian owned. It's got nothing to like, what are you talking about? But there is that thing of just complaining about an African country, about black people, but we people do it here as well. And it's like a black business, like, oh, of course a black business, of course they're not going to do. And I just don't understand why it is that we think so low of ourselves, because that's really what it is. Because other businesses that are white owned, Jewish owned, Indian owned, they will disappoint you in other ways as well. But you never ever say, oh, that's just how their people are. But when it's black people, when it's one person, it's like, oh, that's just how you know how we can never have anything. It's horrible. So yeah, man. So people like that anyway, like that woman in the TikTok. Yeah, please stay away, because we don't need your negative. Because unfortunately, we're like people. Obviously, in Nigeria they call them IJGBs. That's I just got back. That's the leading sentence. That's how they. Oh, I just got back. But unfortunately, it's not. They don't have a good rep. Yeah. Like I've actually had people say to me, "Oh, you're not like the others." Like, do you get what I mean? And it's not. It's just not nice. So
yeah, it's so weird that she said, "Oh, I just went back to Africa." Where did you go?
Where in Africa? I'll be honest. That's one thing that pisses me off about Americans. Respectfully, sorry y'all, but it really annoys me. Like Americans be like, "Oh, I'm just going to Africa."
Yeah. Exactly.
Where?
Yeah.
Where? Oh, I just got back from Africa. So when you booked your flight, you said Africa. It just did a mystery box and it just dropped you somewhere random. Oh, anyway.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
How are you guys doing?
Yeah, you know, yeah,
You've
man.
been holding it down, man. Big up you. You've been holding it down. You and Brent holding it down.
We've
love
been
that.
trying. We've been trying.
Have we got any admin?
Yes, we have a Spotify comment, I believe, Brent.
No.
No?
No.
Actually, it wasn't Spotify comment. It was
a
emailed in.
dilemma.
It was dilemma.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I'm not having a segment for that.
You haven't done it for this one or in
The
general?
thing
Yeah,
he's
for
about
this.
to read out.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
short.
putting it for that.
Oh, did you put in the thing? I want to see.
Yeah.
Basically, it's from I can say their name, innit?
I don't know.
I don't know if. Let me see.
Oh, you didn't
Have
read
you ever
it?
done that?
Oh, you didn't read it?
No, the
did
Spotify
read
comments we say names, but not if it's like a dilemma type vibe.
Yeah.
It's not. This ain't a dilemma though.
It is a dilemma.
It was sent in via the dilemma form.
I know. Yeah.
Let me
All right,
see.
cool. You know what? Let
Yes.
me follow protocol.
Yes, thank you.
All right. So this person is 23. It's a female, and they said,
Wow. Sorry. Fair. As you were.
a woman. So, and he said, no personal dilemma for me, but I just wanted to say that you are all smashing this content space, and I want to see more. TDA is the best.
Hallelujah.
And they said, number one, Brent, why has Brent stopped putting episode numbers up? And number two, I recommend Margs, Iman, and Brent should do a full Brazilian wax / shave. I remember an episode where all three of you were talking about feeling heavy, and I think doing a Brazilian would do
Because the
more
hair.
better. I don't understand what's going on.
Are you guys pandas or something? I don't think they feel that heavy. I don't think it was that kind of heavy they talk about.
The thing is, my body doesn't even produce hair like that.
I'll be honest, I don't know what all of you look like, without clothes, but you guys don't give hair like most is a bit. Damn. Because you can tell hairy guys that you can.
It comes out.
It comes
Yeah,
in
innit? Exactly.
It comes from just guys that wear like V-neck and it comes out their shirt. That freaks me out. I don't like hair. Anyway, not doing it. As you were.
But yeah, man. Big up you, man. I guess.
That's such a random recommendation.
Yeah, very.
From feeling heavy. She didn't say you guys should go on a diet a little bit.
Nope. She said
Just wax it
a
off.
Brazilian will do more better than bad.
A Brazilian girl or Brazilian wax?
No, wax. Wax.
What?
This is the only time I could be on air proudly to say I'm a groomer.
And maybe the only time you ever say
I'm
that.
a groomer.
I do like Kia to
I'm
say
a groomer.
'Cause I saw a video of I think Burna Boy was performing the other day, and Burna Boy performing shirtless. In honor to his uncle fella and that. And he put his hand up and he had very hairy armpits. And someone was like, "What? So there's no shaving sticks where he's from?" But I do think men should actually shave their bits. I don't know about like down there. I think that's more of a manscaped kind of vibe. I don't know if bald is the look.
When you say manscaped kind of
Bro,
vibe,
that-
as in, what does that mean?
Just a nice little trim. I've always heard podcasts advertise the manscaped thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think manscaped is promoting boldness down there.
So
I thought it was promoting like healthy trims.
admit, pollster, put us to the poll. Can you put up a poll for the women and the men, obviously, whichever way you lean, as to what you prefer a man to do down there? To take it all off, or to
I couldn't
guess
see.
a trim?
I mean, I hate this is the first conversation I'm having when I'm back.
I mean, I've never seen a willy like that before, other than mine. I guess. So, speaking to the experts here, right?
Who's the expert?
Experts, I said.
Who's that? Who's plurals? Who's the expert?
We've had a
There you go,
trim
one in the building. But I don't think a bold look. If I was to ever see one, I don't think bold is how I want to meet it.
All right.
I just don't think.
All right.
I think that's a bit of a jump scare. Personally, I would like to know what the girlies think though. Actually,
Yeah.
please do a poll. I want to know what the girlies think.
Yeah. Does the unboard look a bit different dependent on where you see it? Whether it is eyeline. You brought me here, you woo, silly girl.
No, I just don't think. I think if it was a drone level, high level, whatever levels, I just don't think that
Where's my pole?
skin to skin is real.
Sorry.
I can't imagine having sex with a guy and we're just rubbing skins.
Wait a minute. You know, there's some people who prefer there to be no hair whatsoever, so I can get as dirty as possible. I hair.
Men.
You're proper laughing.
Men.
She'd be like, no. Put it back. I'll be back in a few weeks.
As in men like it bold like that.
As in for the woman?
No, for the woman. That's different conversation.
So why is it different? And why wouldn't a woman
because I think with women,
for the man?
I think with women it's a personal choice thing. But I think it's a personal choice thing. I think there are women who don't believe in like shaving and stuff like that, and that's fair. And there's women who do believe in that, and that's also fair. But I think for me, just me personally, I'm not saying this is how all men should live, but personally, I don't want to meet a bold situation.
You know?
I just don't know. I think a bold armpit, yeah, because I'm always gonna be laying and cuddling and stuff. But I just think
there you go. Right?
That situation,
apply the same principle.
I can't.
Elsewhere where you lay your head.
My face is not done it. It's not. Can't. It's different principles. Different situations, different principles. Just different all around. So, yeah.
All right. I mean, I've still not seen the poll, so I'm guessing the poll is
his take. You know, Chijuke knows.
Big up Chijuke, my Nigerian brother.
Chijuke, may I ask what you think about this?
No, I never asked anyone. I never asked anyone. I said he made his views known.
Oh, he did?
Yes.
I thought bald is needed if you want knowledge respectfully.
Knowledge? Is knowledge like code for a sexual thing?
Is that mathematics?
Brains.
Oh.
Yes.
Well.
This is what I've heard.
Yeah.
Fair. That's actually a good. I like that word association. That's why I say I think everyone's different.
Quad Crew says like you probably want hair in your teeth.
I'm not dating a wolf. Why is it gonna be extreme? Like why has it got to be? Why has it got to take the leftist left? Do you know what I mean? Like there's in between. So I'm talking about healthy trims. Healthy trims is the vibe, and also. I don't know what people do down there, but why teeth? Why are you eating like it's flipping rice? Like what the hell? What the helly? Yeah, I don't know, man.
Right,
What the best when in their situations, child. But how did you even get here? Oh, the lady that's recommending waxes.
Oh yeah.
So when did she want you guys to wax?
I have no idea. But well, she said the Brazilian wax. So.
Oh yeah, that's down there.
Yeah,
that's a full Hollywood butthole and everything.
That's that.
Spread them cheeks. I would like to know how men do, like what men. Actually, we like everyone else's position, isn't it? Isn't to get the butt. Thank you for that, sister. I don't think they'll be doing that.
Nope.
I don't know their advice.
Not at all.
I think trims is nice because I think germs and stuff and sweat and stuff. So trims are nice, but I don't know about.
I can shape up in that.
Yeah. You mean like fade? That's fine. I don't know.
Fade.
Yes.
One level.
You know there's women that do that. So basically there's different types of waxes women get. So there's people that just leave a strip of hair. And it leads you to the path where you need to go.
That I've heard about.
I think that's funny as heck.
Yeah. Why?
I think that looks because why? That's such an ugly look.
Like an arrow without the stroke.
Yeah, basically.
Triangle.
Well, technically.
Just said that.
But people have different styles of like hairs they would leave there. And I just think that's personally I think men should add down the ick list. But I don't know.
I think the full on natural is
it's too much, man.
Yeah, and if it's woof. That's when you get hair in your teeth.
You see, that situation I can see men getting hair in their teeth.
What?
But I don't see how I can. Given how things happen.
Okay, I get
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
But as a woman, I don't see why you're getting hair in your teeth.
I heard
what are you doing?
A whole adult yesterday used the word bowcat. Adult male.
Oh, in 2025?
Adult male.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
From Northwest.
I'm not going to say who I think it is. Nobody ruined his brand.
I'm like, what? What?
Yeah, because that's embarrassing. Can't say stuff like that. In 2025.
Grow up.
Everyone grew up already. Damn.
It's crazy. Bowcat.
That ain't it, y'all.
Mad. Anyway, the poll is coming at the end of the next segment. We will have the results.
Please.
Because I secretly believe that, some of them. Well, in fact, I think that
Some
when
men.
I hear the question is, do women prefer? Again, men could whichever way you lean, you can participate in a poll. I wouldn't know. Would they prefer bald, completely bald down there, or just trimmed?
I'd rather trimmed. Trimmed, because trimmed is just like you care about hygiene. Bald, obviously, one can argue you care about hygiene too. But I just think it's weird. For me personally.
When I hear that a woman would prefer the man completely hairless,
that's a freak, child.
She's on.
Oh, she's on like that's a freak. That's a level I don't know I'll ever reach.
I'm like,
But
hello, nice to meet you.
you sicko. Dear. What a mess.
All right, cool. What else we got for the admin, Emmanuel?
Nothing really. Nothing for now.
All right, cool.
So let's get into the headlines.
So that was really good.
I'm dead.
I can't give it though. I've been trying to for the past the one time I could have, they said, "Hey, girl, you might need blood soon." That was terrible. And then after that, I've just been away. So unfortunately, I can't. But big up them. That was really
it was
very good episode. And I love seeing black love. Like I love seeing elderly black love.
Yeah.
Especially with what they, because grief is something that breaks a lot of couples up. And they've done something so amazing and positive from that.
Yeah.
Props
100%.
and nothing else.
Guys, we are talking about the ACLT, that amazing charity. Afro-Caribbean Leukemia Trust. Remember, we had Orin the Girl and Beverly the Girl on the show to talk about blood donations, basically, and getting ourselves on the stem cell register. Remember, they've got a drive on the 31st of May. All the information is basically in the description of the video. But please, guys, take it serious. Look up that episode where we had them on the show. It was amazing, so informative. And yeah, man, we're going to give you more information on that anyway. But yes.
Do read the poll and see if it's not confusing.
The poll is confusing as hell. Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. That's a silly poll. The question is, because we know where it is we stand with women. Sorry, women is not the subject today. Question is, girls, do you want your men bald or not? Do you know what? No, it's 3 options: bald, trimmed, or just full forest.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I'm not for full forest. I just think that, whoa, buddy. That means all the hairs you've grown since puberty, you've just never gone rid of it. That's so disgusting to think about. Hella DNA's in there. It's nasty as heck. 3 options, please, poll person.
Yes.
Up. Manuel?
BDD. Okay. Says the day after the black creator should get. Some people say if you like no hair down there, it's problematic because it resembles a child's body.
Is that the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about this topic?
I'll be honest. It's not the first thing that came to my mind, but it's one of the things. I wouldn't think that it was a child because he'd be a man. But he'd be a man, honey. But I have heard people say that though.
Interesting.
That's why I find I hate to do it so early. But that's why I find men who specifically want to date younger girls weird.
Yeah.
Because it's weird. And I'll be honest, when we talk about this, Shannon Sharp did come to mind.
Yeah.
I thought, he probably likes it bold.
So,
allegedly.
In most cases, because I don't think the males doing it is a common thing amongst males, right? But women looking to, that's my mind, it's more common.
As women waxing off. Yeah. Because they're beauty standards, unfortunately.
Precisely. So are we supposed to be, this particular question, are we supposed to be just putting it in the lens or the framing of men expecting women to not be that way because it's reminiscent to...
Do you know what's so weird? I don't even think of that more when it comes to men looking at women. I think of it more the other way.
As in women?
But maybe because I like men, so maybe that's why I would do that. But I wouldn't think a guy would see a woman that's bald down there and think, oh, it reminds me of a child's body. I do think I have sickening because sometimes unfortunately things come across my timeline, but I have seen men who say that they like women, they like younger women, and they talk about their reproductive bodies, and they talk about how their body's not fully formed and stuff like that. So it's weird.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's a real thing. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
As in, men say they go for women who aren't like formed like a woman.
Not that they're not formed like a woman, but there's some pedophilic men. I don't know if that's a word, but it is now.
Yeah.
They like their partner's bodies to represent younger pre-puberty bodies. It's taking a spin now, hasn't it?
All right, we're off for this.
I'll do it.
Not on Friday.
It's probably a trigger warning. It's just a happy Friday.
Yeah.
It's like a Tuesday type of conversation. Tuesdays are hard in TDA.
All right, people. So our first headline: the US has agreed to reduce import taxes on a set number of British cars and allow some steel and aluminium into the country tariff-free as part of a new agreement between the US and the UK. The announcement offers relief for key UK industries from some of the new tariffs announced by President Donald Trump since entering the office in January, but it will leave a 10% duty in place on most goods from the UK. Though hailed by leaders in the two countries as significant, analysts said it did not appear to meaningfully alter the terms of the trade between the two countries as they stood before the changes introduced by Trump this year. No formal deal was signed on Thursday, and the governments were light on details. But I'm going to speak about that a bit more in the People's Journal. Next headline, and a major conservation charity, in fact, trigger warning people, trigger warning on this. A major conservation charity linked to Prince Harry has admitted that human rights abuses were committed by its rangers in Congo Brazzaville following an independent review into allegations made by members of the Bako community against African Parks rangers. In a report published last year by the British newspaper The Mail on Sunday, community members accused African Parks rangers of beating, waterboarding, and raping locals to stop them from accessing their essential forests. Imagine, which are now a conservation area. Despite commissioning an independent review into the actions of its rangers in Congo Brazzaville, African Parks has not made the findings of the review public. Instead, it has published a statement acknowledging that human rights abuses occurred in the Odzala Kukuya National Park, which it manages. It has excluded all the details of the abuse, though. The review was carried out by Omnia Strategy LLP, which is a London-based law firm, and that was handed directly to African Parks. And in the statement, Omnia said it had been carrying out an independent investigation into the alleged abuses in Odzala Kukuya since December of 2023. Its statement, again, did not include its findings and recommendations, which they said they had sent directly to African Parks. And our last headline, trigger one on this as well. Constance Martin has heavily criticized her wealthy biological family in an extraordinary cross-examination carried out by her partner and fellow defendant Mark Gordon during their retrial at the Old Bailey. She accused her family of prejudice and hiring private detectives to follow her. Gordon, who is not legally trained, was able to cross-examine his partner after submitting his questions to the judge and receiving approval. He's no longer using barristers in the trial and is instead representing himself. Martin, 37, and Gordon, 50, both deny manslaughter by gross negligence over the death of their child Victoria, whose body was found in a Brighton shed back in March of 2023. They also deny causing or allowing the death of a child. The couple have 4 other children who have been removed by social services. They were previously found guilty of concealing Victoria's birth and perverting the course of justice by not reporting her death, but the jury could not come to a verdict on the outstanding charges, and a retrial began in March. Under questioning by Gordon, in court on Thursday, Martin described how all hell broke loose with her family when she returned from Peru pregnant with her first child in 2017. And that's it for the headlines. Let's get into the topic of the day. All right, people. So today's topic of the day, it's not going to be too long, but I do want to ask the question of the courtroom versus the court of public opinion. Whose verdict matters most? Because obviously one of them has real legal ramifications and things of that nature. But in a real practical way, living life every day, do you feel like what has a great impact on that individual? or even a country or organization. I say that because there's two things I kind of want to mention. There's two clips in there, Brent. And the first clip is by Jonathan Majors. And he sat down with Cam Newton.
I'm tired of Jonathan Majors, chow. I'm sick of seeing that man.
Well,
weirdo.
everything about him just seems like he's acting in it.
Yes, he is. He's actually I find him I find him a bit freaky. I feel like he's like a character in a horror film. Oh my gosh, guys, I watched Sinners. Anyway.
Not yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet.
God willing, by next week Monday, 100% we could spoil everything because I haven't seen it.
It's cute that you think I was in the cinema and I saw it.
All right, is it good?
I don't do horror.
Oh, it's gone, man.
Oh, you didn't watch it?
I don't. Huh? I did. Oh, your mic is gone.
All right, continue. No. Let's pause because they might not hear us when I reset this. Hold on.
Okay.
1 second, people.
Not even that because
I was chilling there with my cousin Elephant. Since we're here, you're a clown.
Baboon.
Yeah.
No. It's because in my head I just projected that I was looking for a copy.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
And I watched it.
Yeah.
You gotta support black things.
Hopefully it's back.
Yes, it's back now.
Yeah, I love
it. Yes. What was this?
Jonathan Majors and how I don't like him. Yeah, so he comes across as, he just always comes across like he's acting, but not like any kind of acting, like Get Out kind of acting. Like he's almost trying to like hypnotize you with the stories he's telling.
Yeah.
It's very freaky. It's very, very freaky. Like I think at the start, it was easy to believe that, oh my gosh, is this changed person? He's done the work and blah, blah, blah. The more interviews I don't know who his team is, but the more interviews he does, it's like it's really showing you that he's just performing. Every single interview is a performance for him. And he cues it right. Like he knows when to drop the tears.
100%.
He knows when to put his voice down. He knows when to act like he's all coy and shy and like, oh yeah, I just love my mom so much. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, he gets my nerves. Can't stand that man. But yeah, is it him?
Yes. So he's sitting down with Cam Newton. And he's basically, Brent, when you're ready, play the clip, please. He's basically just talking about people's opinion of him. And even after the case, him having to do extra. He feels everyone kind of demands.
See, that's the face I don't like. I already know what vibe he's about to come with when he does his face like that.
Okay, what are you gonna do now? What's that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? That's a real moment for me, right? I'm really asking. What's that mean? What's the definition of it? And now there's a playbook for it. This individual, this entertainer, this athlete has done this. Now we're going to cancel him, throw the book at him. Well, the court already did that. I'm dealing with that. But then you go into your social group or your work environment, and you have to pay a penance there too, apparently. I don't disagree with that. But the idea of cancellation, in my opinion, I just think it's incomplete. You fuck up, you fall down, you make a mistake, and then you're in the corner for the rest of your life. Never mind your child, never mind your livelihood, never mind yourself, your self-confidence, I just couldn't have it. So I chose to go a different route. And that was healing, connection, laughter, all with a battery put in my back with my faith in God. You canceled, okay, what are you gonna do now?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
He's got one of them faces you just want to slap. It's so annoying.
What do you think about what he said though?
Do you know what it is? I'm not pro. I believe in giving grace. I believe in grace, and not even just because I'm a Christian, but just because also because people change, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But the issue is when people pretend that they're changing. That's the issue. But also as well, I think what people need to understand is that not everybody is required, must give you grace. So if people don't want to give you grace, if people want to hold you to what it is that you've done, they're within their rights to. In an ideal world, you would like them not to. But if they want to do that, then that's fair enough because of how it is that you went about it.
Yeah.
I think dealing with somebody who has been called out for doing something and they come and they say, do you know what, my bad, yes, I did do that, I apologize, blah, 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 blah. That's different to someone who goes out of their way to deny it, to antagonize whoever it is that's involved, to play victim. And it turns out you did do it anyway. And then when it turns out that you did it anyway, then in your apology tour, you're then upset that people don't want to give you grace. But the thing is, you messed with them for so long and they supported you when you made them believe that you were innocent. Do you get what I mean? Like, people don't owe you grace. People don't owe you forgiveness. It's a nice thing for people to do, but they don't owe it to you. And I think with the thing with cancellation, I don't think people should be cancelled if there is changed behavior. If there's not changed behavior, you don't want to mess with them, that's fair enough. But I also don't believe that ultimate cancellation can be achieved. People still listen to R. Kelly. People still support R. Kelly. I was at an event. Was it Nigeria? I think, it was in Nigeria. It was a restaurant, actually. Very lovely restaurant as well. I really like that place. But the DJ was playing, the live DJ was playing R. Kelly. I said, you just didn't get the news. You just didn't know. So do you get what I mean? And there's just different, I don't think full cancellation can ever be achieved because things trigger people in different ways. And that's the reality because there's certain things that are more sensitive to this individual than they are to the next individual. So the thing with Jonathan Majors, the whole thing, trigger warning, the thing with domestic violence, that triggers one person more than it will trigger the next person. And so you can't then be upset that the person who it triggers more has decided they don't want to work with you. They don't want to do this with you. They don't want to be around you. You can't be upset that they're holding you accountable for what you've done. And just because you've been held accountable doesn't mean that there's still not consequences. Even with God, there's still consequences. God will forgive us and God does forgive us, but there'll be consequences for your actions. So he's moving very entitled. People are not entitled to forgive you. People are not entitled to, he's not entitled to people forgiving him. And he's certainly not entitled to opportunities of people seeing your screen. I don't want to see him on my screen. I'll be honest, if there's any movie that's got Jonathan Majors in it, I don't want to see it. That's the reality. And if there's any black woman that I support, I love Issa Rae. I love anything that Issa Rae does. If Issa Rae has Jonathan Majors in any of her projects, I will not watch it.
But because you hold Issa Rae to a high standard, would you maybe not think, you know what, maybe she has spoken to him, seen that he's changed, and maybe I should give him that grace as well. Yeah,
but that's the thing, that it depends how you are as a person. My views, my opinions, my thoughts, how I think and the things that I do don't come from celebrities. Don't come from public figures. Don't come from. So that's good for you, Issa Rae. Love that. Any other thing you do, I will support that. I may not necessarily judge her harshly because, again, there are things that happen behind the scenes that I may not be privy to. But this one project, I'm within my rights not to support that. And that's okay. I don't have to give him grace just because she decided to give him grace. Things like Issa Rae doesn't know about my issues and my troubles and my triggers or whatever the case is. I don't know about hers either. So I can't excuse something that I know I personally do not like just because Issa Rae is cool with it. And I think that's what he needs to understand. That's what he needs to get with. If for the moment the only thing you're going to be in is Jason Lee movies, then you be in Jason Lee movies. That's the hand you dealt. And I think what's irritating me the most about Jonathan Majors, because do you know what? I did say, I was sat right there when he did, I can't remember what interview it was. And I said that he comes across as if he's changed. And I was sat right there 2 weeks later, because men will embarrass you. 2 weeks later, when he went on Breakfast Club. And I think what's annoying me the most about it, because again, as someone who's a Christian, I mean, I know that the buzzwords for people that do very crazy criminal things, so did he do it, is, they say, oh yeah, I found God. Oh yeah, I'm in therapy. Oh yeah, I apologize. So shut up. Shut up. Because when you come to ask the church they go to, it's TD Jake's church. Okay. So the thing is, I don't think that he shouldn't be given grace. I don't think that he shouldn't be given another chance. I don't think he should be banned or whatever the case is. My personal issue with Jonathan Majors, which is why I'm just like, I'm off you, is because he's going around acting like he's a victim. The realities and the facts of the case is that you still abuse that woman. But he's going around as if like, this white woman tried to take me down. But just because you're married to a black woman now, but your history has always been white women. So you can't now act as if the white woman tried to take you down, as if it's like a personal agenda. No, that's where your tastes lie. That's where your bald penis took you. And then now you act as if like the relationship was something that happened to you. No, you intentionally picked that woman. And whatever the case was, her being abusive to him being abusive, the facts of the matter is that there was abuse in there.
Yep.
And the facts of the matter is that you did break her finger. The facts of the matter is that you did strangle her. So you can't now act as if you're a victim of a bigger system that people talk about. Because what it does, it takes... Because you know when people say these things, they'll be like, oh, they're just trying to take a black man down. I think of stuff like police brutality. When it's actually innocent people that have done nothing wrong, and because of their race, they're being attacked. Not even just police brutality, but like racist attacks. It's like they don't like the fact that you're black and walking. That's the kind of things I think about. I think about like in corporate settings where you've earned your merits got you here, your skill, your talent, your education, everything, your hard work got you here. But the fact that you're black and they just don't feel like you should be on the same level as them, they go out of their way to take you down. That is not the same thing when you commit a crime. It's not the same thing. We can't be, and I just think the black community does this too much. Because I saw the whole thing with Shannon Sharp and whatever else. And people have said that about Diddy as well, and Tory Lanez and all these things. You got these people who are committing actual crimes. And then you sit there and say, oh, they're trying to take them down. They are taking themselves down.
Do you think, though, in some of these situations, it's because certain crimes, I'm going to give a silly example, but certain crimes have been normalized. So it's almost like, wait a minute, you didn't say anything when that person did the crime, but now you won't say it for me. So for example, I'm not even sure if littering is a crime in this country, but let's just say you mind your business, throwing stuff around, right? Didn't look for no bin, you didn't give a damn. Police stopped you. You got into a heated exchange, and you find yourself on social media because they've brutalized you, right?
Yeah.
And they're wrong for that. But one can always say, but you did litter. Like if this is a crime, you did litter. But then I guess the man's argument would be, but other people litter too. You know what I'm saying? So even though it's wrong, does someone not have a right to say, yes, I did wrong, but the way you're treating me, the punishment doesn't fit what I did. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you mean, but I think we need to get to a point where we can separate things. Because yes, littering is bad. Do you know, you're just a snitch really. Because you litter, and other people litter as well. Other people haven't gone, you just got bad luck. That's the reality of it. Because a lot of people do crazy things. A lot of people commit fraud. A lot of people do all these things, and then one person gets caught. Just because everyone's doing it, like that's not going to make that everyone doing something, everyone committing a crime, right? Isn't going to make that less of a crime. It's still a crime. The police just haven't come by where they're walking. But in the example you've given, we can say, okay, yes, he was littering. However, though, that was still police brutality. And we can recognize that as police brutality. And we can say it's such a shame that something, I guess a minor offense, has led to something so drastic. But we have to be able to look at it as you did commit a crime. But just because you committed a crime doesn't mean that you get to be killed as if your life is worthless. And so that killed as if your life is worthless is what we need to focus on. Do you get what I mean? So he needs to stop sitting around with that silly little face he keeps pulling, acting as if he's a flipping, what's it called? He's a victim of a crime. You did what you did. And you did not care. I'm sorry, but if I can't believe Megan Good.
But the thing is though, are we somewhat a bit harsh on her though? The reason I'm saying this,
absolutely.
because we don't know him. You know what I'm saying?
We don't.
She knows him.
Yeah, she claims she does.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Grace Jabari before she knew him.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
but at least maybe she's thought, I don't know, he's done the work, he's doing the work, or I don't know.
I think they're equally yoked. They're both actresses and actors and whatever else. And I just think sometimes you just never know what work God is doing. I'm learning to judge less because I don't know what people's circumstances are and what the relationship is like with God. But I think that Megan Good, I don't think she should get as much smoke as she does, but because I think Brent asked me this one time, like if for whatever reason she comes out and she says that she's been abused by him, I'm 100% going to have empathy for her. I'm 100% going to be like, that was wrong. Because again, two things can be true. She's less than smart. I personally think from the outside, not knowing what this man's true character is like, I think it's less than smart to be with somebody and to let a man use you as a prop. She's basically the black baby Central C was holding the other day. Because when he was in court, there she was, his black Coretta, walking side by side, holding a Bible. Holding a Bible. So I think they're just both clowns, and I like when clowns link up. Saves the rest of us the stress of it all. But I'm tired of seeing his face.
What do you think, lastly, on what he said, about his approach to the whole penance thing, where he's like, okay, cool. I've had my day in court, but now I feel as though the world wants me to kind of show to them that I'm sorry. And
You have to.
Yeah, but I guess so. But
You
in
have
his
to.
head, I guess he's saying, why do I have to do that? And is it right for him to say, you know, I'm going to do a different approach. I'm going to show how happy I am, to show I'm free.
And it just
And I'm
pisses
a
people
new
off
person.
more. Pisses people off more.
Yeah, as I'm saying that.
You have to, because I think. Do you know what annoys me about celebrities sometimes? They choose a celebrity lifestyle. They are happy to depend on the public to support them, support their projects. They love, oh my gosh, my fans, my supporters. They love all of that until your supporters now want to hold you accountable. Then all of a sudden it's like, I don't have to prove myself to you.
Yeah.
But every single thing that you've ever done has been for public acknowledgement, has been for public, what's the word I'm looking for? Not acknowledgement. Like praise from the public, right? That's what you've always wanted. You've wanted their praise. You wanted their commentary on things, and all of a sudden now you've done something that's bad, and they're saying, do you know what? We think that's really a bang out of order. All of a sudden now, you want a private lifestyle. No, he sat on Breakfast Club, and I've seen him do. I think he did it on Jennifer Hudson's show as well, talking about, you know, like his fans have really stuck by him, blah blah blah. So now you can't sit here and say that you don't want to have to prove yourself to the public. If you want to make movies. Because he claims he's directing and he's writing and whatnot. I guess that's what you got free time to do when you know when to hire you need to be an actor. But
It's funny you say that. I'm gonna. Yeah, it is very good.
he claims that's what he's doing right now. If you can't say that you don't want to have to prove yourself to the public.
Yeah.
When you bring out a project, you want the public to support it. Do you get what I mean? Because the reality is that, of course, when it comes to like celebrities and stuff, you got people that are like diehard fans, but then you got people that are indifferent. I'm not a Beehive person. I'm not a Beehive. Yeah. However, I went to the last Beyonce concert. I want to go to this one, but it's in Tottenham again. I'll be damned if I set one foot in that place again. Do you get what I mean? So with celebrities, like just your supporters, maybe Beyonce, maybe that's a different level. Or Michael Jackson, maybe they were a different level. But someone like Jonathan Majors, just the people that support him will not be enough for him to break records on a movie that he releases.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? You've got to have random people who they're indifferent. Yeah. But they see you did like, oh, that guy was good in Marvel, that guy was doing about show up as well. So you can't say that you don't care to prove yourself to people or show people or show people that you've changed when there's the same people you're gonna call on to watch your movies. You chose that life. If you choose a public life, unfortunately, if you want public praises and you want public support in that manner, unfortunately then when you do crazy things, that's who the court of public opinion matters. Just going back to the question of topic of the day, that matters more. Because yes, the court might find you guilty or not guilty even, but if the public say, you know, we're not supporting anything he does. Yeah, you can be free all you like in court, but if they're not going to support you, no one's going to hire you because you're going to tank the ratings for the movies down. Do you get what I mean? So unfortunately, that's the life you chose. So you can't be sitting there acting all confused. Yeah.
Good morning, Stacey. And having said that, I just remembered.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, babes.
I just remembered that Charlemagne announced that he is starting a production company, and the first movie that's going to come out from there is with Jonathan Majors.
Remember, I've also sat there. A lot of memories. When you sit here, there's a lot of things you remember when you sat there. And I said, Charlemagne, they can never make me hate Charlemagne. God
damn it. Well, he made you.
He made me hate. See what I'm saying? So Charlemagne cannot say now they're trying to take a black man down. You took yourself down in my mind and whatever. And again, it's not that Jonathan Majors should not get any opportunities. It's not that he shouldn't be given it. It's not that. And I'm aware that there's other people that commit these crimes that haven't been caught. But just because there's other people that haven't been caught doesn't mean that we can't reprimand the person that we've then seen. My issue is just the way that what's his name, Jonathan Majors is going on a tour, acting like the victim, and like almost like he's coming up with this like, I've overcome this hardship. That's not. It's a hardship that you brought upon yourself, and you can't tell me that you really changed whilst playing the victim in a situation that you caused. I'm not saying you should be saying that woman's name every time, but give some acknowledgement of like, you know what, I did mess up and I did this. And again, I understand that he's had some issues. He said he's been abused and all that stuff. Of course, that does affect people. Absolutely. I can't take away from that. However, don't stop going around acting as if this is something that was done to you when actually you're the one who did something to somebody else. Very cheeky behavior. Hey, Stacey.
Good morning, Stacey.
Morning. How are y'all?
All
Good. How are
thank
you?
Good. Welcome back, Esther. You've been
Thank you,
missed.
girl. Oh, thank you, babes.
I just want to chime in per usual because I can't shut my mouth whenever I have an opinion that I feel like is pressing. And today, I think
Not
my
pressing.
opinion on this is a little pressing. I think we go about this conversation the same way, but like wrong. Because I think everyone understands that like grace is a personal metric, but I think grace and redemption are two different things. Like grace is you messed up. I'm gonna give you some room to like mess up. Whereas
Yeah.
redemption is okay, we all understand you messed up, but what is the cost to pay? What is the consequence? And I don't think these celebrities are wrong. And this is again, don't be confusing my opinion with advocacy because I'm not advocating for people like Jonathan Majors. I understand where Esther's coming from about how he's going about his quote unquote redemption tour wrong. But I think this applies to other celebrities, those who've committed crimes, those who've done social wrongdoings, etc. The gray area is not grace. The gray area is okay. I understand I did something wrong, and the court makes it clear what my price to pay is in the court of law.
Yeah.
But when it comes to outside of the court of law, how do I get out of this sphere of requiring redemption? That doesn't mean they're against doing it. That doesn't mean they're against facing the consequences, but the consequences are a gray area that I can see how it can be frustrating to navigate. If you're telling me, let's say, I don't want to use just Jonathan Major as an example, but all the examples I can come up with are egregious. Let's say, let's use the triggering Chris Brown case. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Let's use Chris Brown because that's something that for years and years and years we've seen, play out. He was how old? 16, 17,
Yeah.
right? In fact, Chris Brown's a perfect example. This is not me advocating for him. This is me painting a picture, right?
He was
I would imagine that
Yeah, I mean, they were like, yeah.
yeah,
They were that young.
I would imagine that at 35, damn near, you're a different person.
Yeah.
If nothing else, time has redeemed you from that specific mistake. I'm not advocating for all the other bullshit he's been doing, recently, but
Yeah.
that specific thing of domestic violence, if nothing else, time alone, I'm sure, has taught him. But I think his frustration, that to me allows me to give him grace, different from redemption, is that for almost 20 years, there's no defined like what is the consequence I need to pay and can I pay it? This man has gone on to do, at least professionally, amazing things, but it seems like in the professional world, no one seems to give him the chance.
Yeah.
I don't think that makes sense, given the fact that we give millions of dollars to rappers who literally tattoo teardrops on their face because they've committed murders. What the hell are we talking about? Like that to me, I think is very justified in a lot of these celebrities who have committed egregious things. At least getting frustrated, but as consumers, what I feel like we haven't figured out yet is, and I don't think we ever will, honestly, but I think we don't approach the conversation even remotely honestly for it to be something that evolves into a solution. What does redemption look like in the court of public opinion? Because we can't just be saying, oh, people are canceled, because you understand that consumers dictate what these mega houses are doing. I'm sure people weren't crying over Chris Brown and Rihanna, which Rihanna has forgiven this man years ago. We would have seen Chris Brown at the Super Bowl. We would have seen him on an award show stage.
Oh,
We would have seen
100%.
him do these different things. So don't fool yourself into thinking that these companies have a moral compass. They don't. Their moral compass is your response. So what is it? What does redemption look like in the court that we control? I think that's the conversation that we need to have.
Do you know what? That's so interesting. I think Chris Brown is actually a perfect example because I've supported Chris Brown for years. So I liked Chris Brown before the whole Rihanna thing. Then after Rihanna thing, I stopped liking Chris Brown for so long. And then I felt that he had been doing the work that he needed to, and he held his hands up. And like, he wasn't the one that came in the narrative of like, she hit me back. Yeah, that was the public. That was, do you know what I mean? That was, he never did that. So I felt like he had taken accountability, he'd done the work he needed to do, blah, blah, blah. So I supported him until recently, when I stopped supporting him because he helped Tory Lanez pay, blah, 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 because I was like, okay, so this, for me, I just couldn't. I personally, I'm just not for that, and that was my line, and so I've drawn it kind of thing. So I feel like Chris Brown is that's actually a really good example that Stacey's brought up.
Example.
Because
And to your
forgot that was
point,
that long ago.
to your point, he's never once gone on a tour saying, "But she hit me." But he was always apologetic for what he did. To me, that's a perfect case study. It's not like Jonathan
That is a
Majors was
perfect
out
case
here
study.
trying to play the victim. He was never the victim about that situation, and he's I wouldn't say his career has lost, but it's taken a significant. Chris Brown arguably would have been the Michael Jackson of our generation.
Oh, 100%. I think his career is
Arguably.
sick. Do you know what it is? I don't think his career could have been better. I think so.
Yeah.
So I do think his career has definitely taken a hit. Because even when it comes to like award shows, he's so snubbed. I remember, wasn't there a whole thing around even him doing the tribute for Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like that was a whole thing. Like they basically, whoever it was they basically had to fight hard for him to be able to do that. It's crazy. But
Only for him to not.
yeah, I know. I don't even be crying on the sweet. That was heartbreaking though.
And I hate that people keep bringing up, oh, but he did this, but he did this. Again, this is not me advocating for him. I'm looking at this specifically as this one specific issue.
Yeah.
Like the other things he did after that, to me, wouldn't have moved the needle if redemption would have been had on that specific thing.
I agree
I'm not
because the media
minimizing-
defo.
I'm not minimizing what he did to
Yeah.
allegedly. I don't even know what he allegedly did to Karuchi. I'm being honest. I don't recall
Push it down
hearing
the
about
stairs,
that, at
allegedly.
least in depth. But I don't see the collection of small things. Small is a bad word, but in comparison to what happened with Rihanna,
Yeah.
the scale of those offenses are smaller. I don't see those things moving the needle in terms of shifting his career the way if it would have been redeemed in that moment, shifting his career the way it did. I think the issue with Rihanna and people's perpetual cancellation of him makes those things not bigger, but like what I'm trying to say, like
No, I get
it
you.
it
Yeah.
puts a different spotlight or lens on those things in ways that if the Rihanna situation either didn't happen or it wasn't blown up the way that it was,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be looking at them the same way. I don't think.
You're
Or at
right,
least
because-
not putting it at higher magnitude.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what you're saying again, that's what I feel this is such a good example of the grace and the redemption you're saying, because the media slaughtered Chris Brown. Chris Brown was in the media for like 10 years straight. Like I remember one of the headlines was so crazy that I remember he was on tour somewhere, and they were like, friend of Chris Brown did this to committed this crime. He had nothing to do with it. It had nothing to do with him. And they linked and tied everything. So the media played such a part in making sure that he never got that public redemption. They really made a point to make sure that he never ever can come back from it.
And that's the issue with cancel culture to me, and its nexus. Like it creates this groupthink that doesn't allow people to use their discernment. So it's hard to apply or hard to not enforce, but come up with what redemption looks like when everybody is just like not overlooking, but like dramatizing things that it's like, okay, at face value, what are we talking about? It's not, because somebody said in the chat, y'all are bigging up Vibes Cartel like he didn't go to jail for what he went to jail for.
Murder.
Meanwhile,
imaginary.
like, what are we talking about? Like, sorry, but let me not even killing.
No, Stacey, please speak on
That
it.
to me,
Because I can't
that to
believe
me
for the
seems
life
like-
of me. This man is
that's
getting
paramount to me.
he's getting a whole riding on the donkey triumphant entry situation going on. And like, and this is what I'm talking. Like you would think he went away like Nelson Mandela did.
No, child. Meanwhile, someone's
It's
crying because
crazy.
their relative is 6 feet under, and you people want to be doing fever. Anyway,
It's mad.
I just wanted to mention, because in the chat people were saying he wasn't 16, 17, he was like 20. He was basically 19, 20. But still,
a
that's like,
teenager.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Still a teen, man.
but that's still 15 years ago, isn't it?
But you know what?
If
What
you're the
Stacey said
same at
actually,
30 something, as 20 is crazy.
what Stacey said as well is why about the public. Because really and truly, that's why I said when you asked me, I can't remember what you asked me, and about the Issa Rae example, and I said about the Issa Rae example, and I said like celebrities don't dictate my moral compass and stuff because they can't because the things that we see are carefully curated by the media. Do you know what I mean? The media is a very, very powerful house. So when we all hate, when they want you to hate somebody, they will continue to feed you things that will make you hate that person. When they want you to like somebody, regardless of the monstrosity that person does, they will continue to feed. I'm waiting for the day Leonardo DiCaprio is called up to the stage. That man his day is coming. Because right now, they all like him. So these headlines make jest and make fun of the fact that he dates women when they're 25, he dumps them and then goes for a younger one. And when that one is 25, he dumps them allegedly, right? But the day that he crosses whoever, or they just said, you're done. We're going to see so much that's going to make us hate him. Look at how like Russell Brand was basically like a national treasure in the UK. And then all of a sudden now it's like, oh, this guy is this, that. And do you get what I mean? So the media, that's why you can't, as an individual, your moral compass and the people that you decide to like the things that you decide to support and stuff cannot come from the media. That's why I said that I love Issa Rae. I love what Issa Rae does and all that kind of stuff. But I can't, if Issa Rae decides to support somebody that I personally doesn't align with my morals, I can't because Issa Rae said yes, say yes. I don't know what Issa Rae is under and what was dangled in front of her and she had to make such a decision. Do you get what I mean? But it just reminded when they said something, it just reminded me of that.
That perspective to me doesn't make sense twofold because one, if Issa does choose to affiliate herself with Jonathan Majors, you said you're looking at her way, right?
No, I said I wouldn't support whatever it is that she's. So if she puts him in a film, I wouldn't watch the film.
But would you support her?
Not that film, no. But if she does something else that Jonathan Majors is not in, I would watch that. Yeah.
Well, how does that make sense? Because if your perspective on support is measured on morals, right? Like,
yeah,
you don't support what Jonathan Majors stands for, and she's using that same person who you disagree with morally to profit off of. Would you not also be questioning her morals? To me, I don't think that makes sense, and I think that makes me also question, like, okay, all the Nicki fans. She married a legitimate pedophile. That man cannot go to parks and cannot be within a certain radius of schools.
No,
but you're still up here blasting.
Crazy.
No, but like that's not. I'm highlighting the inconsistency. I'm not challenging you. I'm highlighting the inconsistency that happens.
I was just laughing at that. At that
same perspective.
Yeah, I get you.
Like, how does that? And I'm not. To me, that I don't think that. I'm not saying I don't think
it doesn't make
same,
sense. Like,
but I think
I get what you mean. But I think for me, the way I gauge things is I'm saying this now, right? Because when it comes to Chris Brown, there's people that were like, yeah, but if you supported Chris Brown after that heinous thing he did, why is it then him paying, actually I think Brent said that. Why is it him paying Tory Lanez legal fees? Why is that where you draw the line? I think, and that's why I say that it's about how I feel as an individual. If it is a thing where Jonathan Majors, Issa Rae gives Jonathan Majors the opportunity, and because I don't like Jonathan Majors, I don't watch it. Because there's people I don't like, and I don't watch things anyway. Do you get what I mean? Or there's people that there's many reasons why I wouldn't watch something anyway. If I decide I'm not going to watch that because of that, but then she brings something else out and I feel comfortable watching it, then that's fair. If there's more people in that I like, if there's Keke Palmer and SZA again in one of them days, and it's one of them days too, and I've watched it and I like it and I feel comfortable watching that, I'll watch it. But I think just because I think that goes then back to the whole cancelling thing. I'm not going to cancel Issa Rae. And also as well, I don't know, because it's what I was saying to Iman, where I don't know what conversations happen behind the scenes. I don't know what she's seen about him. What I've seen about Jonathan Majors, why I don't like him. Because I also was saying that he should be given grace. Because he came across as someone who's been in therapy, he's been doing the work or whatever. What I currently don't like about Jonathan Majors is that he's going around acting like a victim. Do you get what I mean? And so if instill that, I still feel this strongly about it, and someone that I support puts him in a film and I'm like, actually I'm not going to watch that film, but then that person I still support brings another film and I'm like, actually I feel comfortable watching that. I don't think it's linear like that. That makes sense to me.
But to your point about the media, my second and last point before I dip,
the
media's moral compass is financial. Like, and I really want people to understand that. There's a reason why someone like Leonardo DiCaprio is not getting canceled. Tom Cruise is not getting canceled. Like these people generate millions and billions and trillions of dollars. So surely I'm gonna find a way. Not me, please. Let me not use personal pronouns. But they're gonna find a way to, whether it's silence the media, whether it's, fool us into thinking it's not as big of a deal, pay some people off to be quiet, similar to the likes of Diddy. Like people get away with these things because the media that you're forming your opinion on, good, bad, or indifferent, is controlled.
Yeah.
The likes and that is why when it comes to like when we have these conversations, because it's typically in relations to Black men, my grace and my question of what is redemption stems from that, because it's obviously disproportionate in how this thing is applied to specifically Black people in the entertainment industry. I'm sorry, but Tom Cruise robs people of millions of dollars with that stupid ass Scientology shit. They literally have slavery rings. But we sit up here and watch, what's that shit, Mission Impossible, whatever the fuck he does, and generates millions of dollars. That is cancelable offenses.
But
People's day-to-day lives, people's relationship with their families has been completely dismantled off the bat of things that this man and his compadres has done.
I don't think that's fair though. The way you framed that, to be honest, Tom Cruise doesn't run Scientology. Yeah, he's one of the most known prominent members, but
he's very well involved in I lived right next to the headquarters of Scientology. I'm very much learned.
You're not in there though. You're not.
I'm not, but I'm not, but I understand the workings of how that operation works, at least from what I've heard from different people I've asked, different things I've watched. And his involvement is not just the face. He's not just a regular churchgoer who's trying to, evangelize through interviews. No, he's very much involved in the day-to-day stuff and some of the abuses that people have faced.
No, but you know what I get? Do you know what I get? I have to back Stacey because certain things. So basically, it's nice to have a big celebrity like Tom. Is it Tom Cruise? You guys?
Yeah.
Don't know what a man is. I could walk past him. I would never think.
You know him?
I've
never watched Mission Impossible. I am like Barbara from Abbott Elementary. I don't know many white actors. I know Melissa McCarthy. I know Sandra Bullock. Might be it. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my heart. But it's fun to make this guy. It's like he's been in something like one of my sitcoms or something. But basically, it's nice to have a big celebrity support something, right? Yeah. So it's nice to say that Tom Cruise is what do they call himself? Scientologist.
Scientology, yeah. Scientologist, yeah.
There you go. It's nice to say that. It's like, but then the thing is, I get what Stacey's saying because there's going to be a lot of impressionable people. Yeah. And of course, the blame lies both ways. But they might be inspired to join or whatever the case is based off Tom Cruise does it. So unfortunately, though, he does play a part in the consequences that she's talking about.
Yeah, but the lines that were drawn, I don't agree with because it's kind of like this. Obviously, we know that the FBI was behind the killing of Malcolm X, right? But obviously, people that were used were people who were members of the Nation of Islam Mosque in New Jersey, right? But Muhammad Ali was a prominent member of the Nation of Islam. That's like saying the boxer, Muhammad Ali, was somebody who, because of who he was, facilitated in some capacity the killing of Malcolm X. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, that's comparing apples and cars.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Like, Tom Cruise is a member.
Iman. I've got a better example.
Yeah.
Iman, I have to jump in. Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Morning, everyone.
Sorry,
morning.
Morning, Stacey.
Sorry, guys. With
just one second, quickly. 1 second. Just a quick example. Remember the whole Bitcoin thing? Was it crypto coin? Something about some coins, right? And a lot of celebrities were tweeting saying, "Oh my gosh, this coin is the best coin. Buy the coin." The reason why they use the celebrities was because they knew they were going to get more people. So then when people talk about they were scammed, they can definitely say, "Yeah, Cardi B is the reason why I was scammed."
But Cardi B may not have known that these particular people were going to just pull the rug from the people. You know what I mean?
I get what you're saying, but the thing is though, as someone who is a celebrity and you know why it is that they're using you, it's then your responsibility, knowing the impact and the influence that you have, to do your due diligence to make sure you're not leading people astray. Unfortunately, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of work that you have to do because when it comes down to it, people would 100% not remember the guy who created the coin. They will definitely remember Cardi B.
That's true. One last thing I wanted to say though is in that situation, Cardi B, for example, is getting paid and I guess goes home, innit? With Tom Cruise, he's a member. He believes in Scientology. And even though we may not believe in Scientology and its principles and whatnot, there are people out there who are proper active members who believe it's transformed their lives. And Tom Cruise is one of them. He just happens to be a celebrity, and obviously celebrities are put up there, you know what I mean? And he's loyal.
I would encourage
like
you to watch one of their documentaries.
I've seen their documentaries, some of them anyway.
Right,
He's best friends with what's his name? Savage, right? He's the
Miss
head.
Cavendish, yeah.
Miss Cavendish, not Savage. Yeah. Thank you for
Same
correcting
thing.
me. Oh,
She
man.
told you she knows more than you. She did tell you.
But he's pretty much like best friends. Miss Cavendish was Tom Cruise's best man. So I
Miss Cavendish is a man.
Yeah. That's his surname.
Oh.
That's his surname.
That's a whole other rabbit hole, child. We don't even have to go there.
Gunners, you can jump in now.
Yeah, I just wanted to chat to Iman. You see the Tom Cruise thing. Big up Stacey, because it's definitely a good point, because most people know Scientology because of Tom Cruise. The guy is massive, bro. So you can't underestimate his influence on why people know about Scientology. And chances are Tom Cruise was their entry to Scientology. But back to the Jonathan Majors thing. Compromise guys, I don't give them any like form of allowment in it. Like if you're compromised and he's one of them, like he's a victim of Snowflake, but it is what it is. And I just don't like how let me go back slightly. You see, when it comes to the court of public opinion, rarely does it matter if the facts are this or the facts are that. People make their judgment regardless, yeah? Like Chris Brown, like, man done paid his dues, innit? He did what he did. He never, like, combated the situation. Long time ago, everyone should have forgiven him and moved on with their lives. But when it comes to black people, we pay dearly. And it'll chase us as long as it's possible for them.
Exactly.
And like Stacey said earlier, there's people who get propped up and get supported, and if you're down with them, you get the most protection you can. You get it like you can see it every day, bro. Like Leonardo, I know man's got dirt on him, but he's the darling buds at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So he's gonna get a blight, and when that thing hits the fan or it upsets the wrong person, he's done. P. Diddy upset a couple of very rich white people when it came to that alcohol deal or whatever it did. He tried to be greedy, or he shafted them basically, and they weren't having it. And guess what? He's getting dealt with now. Hopefully it doesn't happen to Jay-Z, but I'm sure he's upset a couple people. Like, I'm not gonna like, people might think I'm conspiracy theory, but all these things are strategic. All these things are done on purpose. If they want you up there, you stay up there. If they don't, you're done. For black people though, we have a slightly lower margin of failure or success. Will Smith is done. I don't know.
Why do you say like that? Will Smith is done.
No, there's a long list. Like we can play dumb and like think like there's something random about you work hard, you get there. It's not, man. Everything is strategic and it's propped up by the powerful who are never seen, never heard, but they're controlling everything that's happening. Goes from the Trumps to Israel, Palestine. Like it's a sad way of living. But what can we do, man? We're just mere mortals trying to navigate this madness that we all live in, innit? But most people see it, but they try to ignore it. The last point I wanted to make was like, you see Johnny Depp,
Yeah.
like that woman, I can't even remember her name, accused him of doing madness, whatever. Yeah. And he beat the case. He was never like, but look what's happening. He's done.
I think he's
like
back trying to bring him back.
I think, yeah.
Well,
Johnny Depp is just fine, child.
He's what?
In the court of public opinion, yeah, if you do any kind of harm to women, cats and dogs, children, you are done. That's all I wanted to say.
But you know, Johnny Depp speaks to what you're saying, where it's like, it's what they want. Because when the case was going on with Johnny Depp, Kate something, wasn't it? Kate something.
Amber Heard.
Amber Heard.
Amber, that's it.
When it started, he was the villain. Then, and that's what all the media showed us, was that he's a villain. Yep. And then the hearing was going on, and then the end came, and then there was then a time of like, okay, let's redeem him back. And Johnny Depp is having a good time. Johnny Depp is actually good. His career has been brought back up. Yeah. And I think that's what Thingy wants. That's what
Jonathan Majors that's more to do because he's white. Majors ain't getting that blind.
Wants.
Yeah, Jonathan ain't getting that, man. Like he's done. Not. He's but he ain't getting that.
Remember, Johnny Depp, like he beat the case though. Like he showed that Amber Heard was lying.
He did.
So but with Jonathan Majors, like we know obviously people's fingers were broken in it, so it's a bit different. Like
he's a victim of snowflake, bro, man.
That's not different at all. In fact, that's the issue that we're talking about because the court, even when people have beat cases before, is still damaging to their. Like I said, the media, entertainment has a bottom line that is strictly financial. So even though you went to court and beat the case, the possibility that you have any proximity to even what the accusations are is enough for them to give you the boot.
Yeah.
Which is why I keep saying, Black men, stop messing with these white women so that you're never in these situations.
If you don't
risk assessment.
What did Jamaicans say? If you don't hear, you must feel, man.
Literally, if you don't, those who don't listen must feel. And it's for some reason, what we're talking about is about what the feel is and those consequences. But this particular perspective is about what we can control. And I think as Black people who at this point, if you don't get it, God help you. Like the consequences will always be either disproportionate or is ambiguous the right word? Like undefined. So why is it that men and women, but we've seen a lot more examples of men keep putting themselves in situations that to me are just too risky and it's sharp, stupid. A 19-year-old girl, what are the pros? The potential cons. You have way too much money to have such poor risk assessment. Poor risk assessment.
Word.
They don't do none of that.
Potential. The same way he made that one comment, which is a very good example of risk assessment. He just didn't apply it across the board. He was like, when there are women in the elevator and it's just me and that woman, I get out. I said this the other day. We need more stand-up individuals, men and women. Let's call goofy shit. It is goofy for you to have so much money, so little risk assessment. Sometimes I look at these cases and me personally, my cancellation sometimes comes from, or my lack of grace or not really caring to discuss redemption doesn't come from the fact that you don't deserve redemption. I think everyone is worthy of redemption. And I think to even question that is inhumane as a human who commits wrongdoings every day, big or small, myself, the same with other people. But in that same breath, like, I'm not going to give you a chance of redemption because what you did was just gravely stupid. Hello, let's call a spade a spade. People are doing things that they wouldn't say in a sentence in public. I am 55 years old and I mess with 19-year-old girls. Are you dumb? Say that shit out loud. You know a 19-year-old. That's not your child or your child's friends.
Exactly.
Hello?
Also,
I do believe these.
Just put that out there.
Yeah, I do believe this. A lot of these celebrities live in a false sense of security because everything is elevated, isn't it? They think they can get away with things that, ordinarily speaking, they know they won't. But because they think they have status, because they have money, or I don't know, they just have a. Obviously, I'm not famous in it, so I'm just. This is the conjecture. I'm just throwing ideas out there, but it eludes me that they think they can get away with stuff. 9 times out of 10, you know you wouldn't get away with if you was a normal person.
You know what? I don't think there is a thing that I do think is
cool.
Sorry, say that again?
I said I don't think it's a get away with. I think it's their mind has been conditioned to thinking that certain things are cool.
Yeah.
Like they attach that with it's the way that think about how men talk about young women and their attractiveness. Oh, I want a spring chicken. I want somebody who is green. Why is that attractive? You're goofy. That is weird.
Who the hell?
You can't play with your age mates, weirdo. Like,
I've seen some foolishness recently, child.
We've normalized that type of rhetoric, so they think that that's okay.
Do you know what I think?
That is goofy shit.
I think it's also what Goddess was saying, where it's like in that world there is this level of like there's this. What was it he said? There's a fake sense of security.
Yes.
Because you're currently in, you feel like you're always going to be in. And like when you're in with the crowd and you can't see a world where these people that claim to adore you so much, that show up for you, that bring opportunities, you can't see a world where they will turn against you. And I think that's what always knocks people back for 6, where it's like, wow. And then they start calling people, and it's like, even the person you never ever thought would turn their back on you does. And so I think it's both. I think the things that they experience in that world is definitely different. I feel like there's lust, and then there's like extreme. Yeah. And they're on the extreme side. So it's what Stacey said, but I also think it's what God says, but there's just that false sense of security. And it always just bursts their bubbles. Because if you think about the things that we've heard people do, like the sheer audacity of it.
Audacity, yeah.
The audacity of some of the things that we've heard people do. What? You can't do something like that if you don't think you're protected.
But
and
the average man
ever
is
thought
doing
it's going to
it.
come to light.
I don't think it's a celebrity exclusive thing. The average man is doing it. The average man is seeking young women. That's not a celebrity exclusive thing. You might have a security detail to protect you when you're doing your little frolicking around the town with the 19-year-old girl, but the average man is doing it.
Wait.
They just don't have a platform to do it.
Whoa. Like,
come on,
can we
Stacey.
get
You went
some-
too far.
Like
We was
pick
with
up-
you. Come on, man. We was with you 75% of the 70% today.
On the journey.
But what?
I
The
hear you.
average man.
There's certain men that like young things. I hear that, but there's not a majority of men looking for that.
Not even a
I
minority.
didn't say majority. I
She
said
didn't give
the
us- she
average
didn't give
man.
stats. But it's a thing.
Yeah,
because
I
if you
just-
think
Well, the
about
average man is the majority, no?
No, I don't want to
it's
paint
average,
the
man.
picture that it's only celebrity people who have this issue of being confused, that they have a shield of protection to, indulge in things that are strange. There are regular people. It's very
facts.
common that older men are looking for young women. It is still
Yeah.
equally goofy.
I think do you know
So
what
we
is-
can't
I'll be
say.
honest, I think it's a thing where I think maybe we get it more as women. Because a lot of women, if we do a poll in the chat right now, there'll be women in here who have had a man when they were younger make a comment like, "Oh, you're so made some form of advance to them."
Yeah.
So I think that's because I get what Stacey's saying. It's you're right. It's not just exclusive to celebrities. The everyday man, I think of.
Yeah, but
in my head right now.
I think it's because the way it sounded was like men are doing what Shannon Sharp was doing, rather than men
That's like they're
finding
on
them
pedo
attractive.
vibe.
But when you think about when people have conversations about, oh, as a woman, when you grow up, your eggs are bad, your eggs are this, like all these conversations reinforce that it is better to go for a younger woman. So why wouldn't they go for younger women? If you package older women as, or the older woman she continues to get spoiled and gets damaged, she's damaged goods essentially.
You're giving
Why
men
is it
too much
wild?
credit.
Yeah, like why is
They're
it
not thinking about no
wild?
damn eggs. They're thinking about how she
Second.
looks.
She's saying men are not thinking about eggs.
You're
Because
giving her way too much
thinking about having
credit.
babies with them.
You're right. But the thing is, but it's still that mindset though of like younger is better, and a lot of men think that. A lot of men genuinely think that, and they'll tell you that the women
No, I
at their
actually
age is
think
hard to
it's
settle
more to
down
do
with.
with biology,
That's
Right,
fake, 'cause
all of which is
sperms
weird. No
get
matter
old
how you
and
skin
dusty
it cat,
too.
it's still weird.
No, it's not weird, Stacey. If I'm a if I'm an older man, I'm gonna want to get with a younger person just purely because I know that the chance of them giving birth and everything being working out is good. I don't want a geriatric woman.
Do you know what's
And
interesting
for her-
about
and-
this? Do you know what's interesting about this conversation is that this is why I say about the agenda to make it seem as though women are the only ones biologically who are getting old, because old sperm actually causes more problems. It does.
But it's not.
It does, but you people just don't.
It's not
You
just-
don't do research for it. It does.
No, but
Esther, before
I
you even
hear
get
what
to
you're saying.
sperm, these are the same men who are taking Viagra to even use the
Okay.
sperm. So what are we talking about?
No, I hear what you're saying, but obviously, God
Sperm
has
is
a point.
aged.
Sperm obviously does the quality definitely goes down with age.
By the
but
nut.
it's not a case where like men who are 60, 70, De Niro, they can have kids, but a 60, 70-year-old woman is not having no child. It's impossible.
Exactly. That's all I was saying. I wasn't like trying to say they ain't wrongs in both genders.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
giving men too much credit. These old ass men are not looking for babies. So
They're
let's
not.
stop using biology to now justify nonsense.
The women are the ones looking for babies to make sure that okay, whatever
Okay,
happens,
so
I'm not gonna be
surely
left
the
down
powers
bad.
with the
These men aren't
women
looking
then,
for
no?
babies, they're
Why
just
are the
weirdos.
women not saying no?
Oh, I agree that women are very stupid. Please.
Listen,
I'm not.
I think women should say more no. But I mean,
Okay,
women do say in
exactly.
every
Women
situation
should be
and see how
saying
that
no.
works
It's
out,
women.
so.
Women control sex, no?
Not
we
necessarily.
each contribute to each other's. Well, let me not put myself in that.
No,
But
but in
men and
terms of
women
sex,
each
women
contribute to
control
each other's.
sex. Like if
Yes,
a man wants to have sex with a woman, it's the woman that's in control, generally
In
speaking,
an
right? Unless they're
ideal
doing a mad
situation,
thing.
when we look at cases of sexual assault and stuff, I don't know how much no is really working out for women.
right. But this is. I get where you're trying to come from, though.
Yeah,
My
same, but
issue is the women who the value, and I think this is a totally separate conversation, but I'm gonna try to sum it up in one point so we don't go in a rabbit hole. Um, the issue with that is women. As a society, sex has been so devalued on both ends because men are just fucking horny, and women are like, all right, cool. If it's gonna end up like this anyway, and I can't avoid this anyway, I might as well get some shit out of it.
get a bag.
It's a perpetual cycle of nonsense, nonsense, nonsense that I think both parties are responsible for. And it spills into many other things. We've had the same conversation in different fonts, different
Mm.
times, but
Yeah.
it's both parties are responsible. I'm not saying men are responsible in more ways than other. I think women do a lot of have a lot of egregious mindsets that just gets better PR and are refuse to be honest about it.
Mm-hmm.
But my sentence for this particular conversation and the whole Shannon Sharp nonsense and Jonathan Majors shit to me is the same. People need to stop doing things they wouldn't say out loud in a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Sorry, sweetie. At 19 years old, it is weird that you can sit here and say, "Yeah, I messed with this old ass man because he's gonna buy me shit, dummy."
Yeah.
Like you were dumb.
But same time, we don't know her background and what that. I mean,
I don't care
Yeah,
nothing
but
about your
the point is
background.
that we
Stupid is
can't
stupid.
keep like everyone's got a
yeah,
background.
no, you're right. I
And
don't
I'm
even know
very
why.
big on backgrounds, okay? I'm big on giving people grace for their backgrounds, but we all have one in one way or another. But that's we can't carry on generational trauma, generational curses, and
Generational
the
Yeah.
reason be what was that one?
Generational stupidity.
Thank you. And then the reason being, oh well, when my mama did this and my dad did this and did at what point then do you start to wisen up? I do think though in situations where the woman is younger, when the party, not just woman, the man as well was younger than 25.
Yeah.
I do think what is the scientists say your brain doesn't develop until you're 25. I can give them more grace because life experiences are not there. But if they're dealing with somebody that's much older, I think that person should be held more accountable than the younger person. Yeah. I think it's a shame that our values now lie where young girls think it's really fun to date older guys and to get nice things out of it, because I think the kind of lust men and women deal with is different. Everyone deals with it generally, but I feel like sex is really the downfall of men and material things the downfall
And
of women.
women.
Do you get what I mean? But like, come on, we can't
And that's not
keep
to say
saying backgrounds and struggles and trauma and all these things. At what point then are we changing the narrative and changing the story? Otherwise, might as well just give up.
and not everyone is responsible for their stupidity. There are people in the chat saying you can't expect a 19-year-old to have doesn't have a developed frontal lobe to know what they're doing. You're right. That doesn't make any less stupid, and we should be telling them that. This idea that they're young, okay, but let's teach the young that there are things that are stupid. What do you have to gain from a 50-year-old man as a 19-year-old girl? You can hardly hold a conversation with your age mates. Talk less to a 50-year-old man
50,
who's
yeah.
triple your age. What are we talking about?
But that's why I say in situations
And the
like
mere
that, yeah,
fact
the
that you
man is the one to
hesitate to
blame.
admit it,
Yeah, 100%.
Because you know what it is? It's like when you like when you if you have a kid, yeah, and did you ever remember that challenge? I think it was like during COVID or something, where the parents would like have a snack, something nice, and they say, I'm going out of the room quickly. And you can't expect a child to necessarily have
Not to eat
self-control on
it.
something that's sweet and exciting. And it's the same way, like sugar is basically is the equivalent of material stuff for young people. They see their friends with nice stuff, they see nice things everywhere. And because of social media, they're able to see people that are much older than them with nice things, and now that's what they're aspiring to. Like, why are you 19 looking at a woman that's like 45 who's got a nice car, who's got this, who life has taken to that point, but then at the age of 19, that's what you're aspiring to. So I don't expect. I get what Stacey's saying in that, yes, we absolutely should let them know that's very stupid. Like, you cannot put your safety in the hands of a Chanel bag. That makes no sense.
literally.
However,
It's
though,
the same way you
they're
teach
not
kids
really
that
gonna.
fire is hot.
Yeah, but they're not really going to understand. That doesn't make sense because that's as far as their brain in this moment can take them to reason. Do you get what I'm trying to say? That doesn't mean we shouldn't tell them. That doesn't mean we shouldn't correct them or whatever the case is. But that's why in those situations, the person that really is to be that we have to call to the front to answer for this situation is the older person.
100%.
Shannon Sharp is absolutely disgusting for that.
Or
Absolutely
Esther.
nasty for that. You granddad. Absolutely
know that.
disgusting.
We
And
know that
Monique was trying to set him
19-year-olds
up with a woman his age.
What Maggie's been going in today. She's been talking a lot about the Chris Brown thing, but she said all this energy for teens when 50-year-old men should not be hunting teens barely out of school.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where's the energy for the teens?
We get that,
We're
but
saying
my
that
thing
Shana Trump
is-
was an idiot here. Oh, all right, sorry, go on, Stacey.
No, sorry, I don't mean to cut you guys off. I was just saying my thing is we're making this lesson a lot more, or teaching this lesson a lot more complicated. 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds, I would argue almost up to 23-year-olds are very impressionable young people.
Yeah.
Just make the shit goofy in the social sphere, and they won't do it. If you start stoning people or tarring feathering people or making people socially responsible for doing dumb things, making it look like ew, like we've made lesser things ew. They won't do it. Money aside.
It's scary. That's why you have to
How's
you gotta raise your
that
children,
be
man.
one us in chaos though, isn't it?
Nadia in the chat says she's wisened up now. That's why she's suing him. She realizes the abuse of the relationship and the power dynamic.
Yeah, but even then, she's not as.
I emphatically
that wise
disagree
as
with
that.
that one.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't
hearing
think she's
that
like.
one
I think
go
it's.
At all.
I think it comes back. I'm not saying that she shouldn't get some kind of reparations or anything. I'm not saying any of that. But I still think that it still goes back to why it was that she messed with him in the first place. It's somewhat. And I'm trying to be careful here because don't link this thing I'm saying in this sentence to any other situation that comes up in the future or in the past. You know, I know I cannot forget how the TDA community is. So I'm just making it clear. But I do think that part of it is still linking to the money thing. That lust that I speak of, where it's
Yeah,
like you think
100%.
that dealing with an older guy is going to be a payday. But then also that I'm hearing that he wanted to sign an NDA, she didn't sign it.
Yes, which tells you what she was there
Then
for.
do you know what? Maybe
This-
I think
this-
he's a
this-
19-year-old.
He's an idiot.
I think he's at reading like he's like his brain is like 12.
And in America, where our legal system literally thrives on the back of people manipulating laws in their favor, regardless of what the law was intended for, stupid times 36. Like
Come
if
on,
you
look-
think
look
Someone
at
signed an
Trump, man.
NDA and they say no, thank you. I
if
said,
you
all right,
think
then.
that the law even has a moral compass, it does not. Like in America, there's a reason why we're known to be the lawsuit capital of the world. You might have it might not be a morally offensive thing that you're coming to someone after for money for, but the mere fact that legally you can get money out of them, why wouldn't you do it? That's how people operate. So this girl is wrong, and poor Shannon Sharp for having to reap the repercussions of his. Well, no, it's not poor him. He's just stupid. But like at 19, if I have a chance to be up millions of dollars, so why would I not? At
Come
that
on,
point,
man.
it's just a trick.
The president of the United States is like 4, 5, 6 times felon, and he became a president. Come on.
America's not real. Anyway,
Well,
bye, y'all.
All right. Thank you very
But
much,
you
guys.
live there, no?
I know. I
Let's
see.
see,
You have
let's
that's because you have to be aware of the
I
stupidity
know. I'm
around
just
you.
saying. I'm just playing with you.
Bye,
All
y'all.
right, guys. Obviously, yeah, we spoke about public opinion and the courtroom. Yeah, and I guess in the last hour or so, we've been talking about individuals. But in the next clip, yeah, we're gonna keep this one kind of brief. I want to see what you guys' take is on this one, Brent. If you don't mind playing the second clip.
Yeah. I think the results of the previous poll,
Oh yes.
the ball thing, I can't see it now because I should have said it at the time. It was 79%, I believe, in favor of trimmed.
Okay, y'all know good things.
Yep. 17% said bald, I think.
Got 17%.
And then the rest of them said full on chimp.
What's the
Orangutan.
Forest,
Orangutan,
wild.
Just wild and free.
Wild and free.
Fair.
Let me just play this second.
I definitely missed that section.
It's fun.
I don't know what's going on right now.
20 years, I have supported Israel pretty much at all costs, quite frankly. But today, I want to say that I got it wrong. And I condemn Israel for what it is doing to the Palestinian people in Gaza and indeed in the West Bank. And I'd like to withdraw my support right now for the actions of Israel, what they are doing right now in Gaza. Of course the hostages should be released. Of course that Israel has a right to exist. Of course, the Israeli people, the Jewish people, should have the right to live in peace, but so do the Palestinian people. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that the life of a Palestinian child is as precious as the life of a Jewish child. We've got it wrong as a country. Can the minister stand up to our friends and allies in the United States and make a strong stand for humanity, for us being on the right side of history, for having the moral courage to lead, not just to follow the United States, and to make a difference? That's why we're all elected here. Let's stand up for life. Let's stand up for all children, not just Jewish children. I've been in this house 20 years. I have supported Israel.
All right. Well, as you guys heard, that's Tory MP Mark Pritchard, yeah? And he said for the last 20 years, I've supported him. No matter what the situation is, I've supported these guys, yeah? But I've realized now this is absolutely ridiculous. The point of that is more so me just asking the question, again, the courts versus public opinion. If the rest of the world, if the world starts saying, wait a minute, Israel, this is diabolical right now. Because ICJ ain't doing the damn thing, right? They've been told to go there, and still I don't know what's going on with that, right? ICJ, ICC, whatever it is, and nothing's happening. But if the court of public opinion, if things change and everyone's basically talking like him, do you feel like things will actually change? It will materialize and bring about some change over there. Does the court of public opinion matter with regards to a situation like this?
I think Israel were able to move the way they're moving, not entirely, but Israel had a lot of support, like a crazy amount of support. And that was interesting to me because I don't typically trust politicians. That's the reality of life. I think that they're out for themselves. I always feel like there's something, people might think it's just conspiracy theory, but I just believe that there's always something that they can gain that isn't necessarily for the wider society or the people that they're leading to gain. And when everyone was supporting Israel the way they were loudly supporting Israel, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with my spirit. And so when I then came to know the truth and what was really going on, I feel like they all did because they could benefit from Israel. But I think that the issue now is that I don't think they can benefit from Israel what they thought they could before when they were supporting Israel. Because I think what Israel's been wanting has always been clear. Yeah. So that it hasn't changed. Israel hasn't changed its tune. Do you get what I mean? So I think that what they can now benefit from that has changed, which is why now they want to denounce and they want to take back their comments and whatever the case is. So nice of you to do all of that, but unless saying that you're coming to a platform and you're publicly declaring that it's actually going to bring about some kind of change and bring about some kind of help for the Palestinians, then again, it's just like what you did the first time. It's just you talking and just clout, basically.
Goddess, you still there?
Ban all this lot, man. I ain't got time for it, man. I know the journey to reach facts or to reach the truth, generally speaking, takes time for some people. But anyone with a moral compass should have been knowing from back then that what Israel's been doing to Palestine is wrong. There's no ifs or buts about it. You get what I'm saying? So the fact that he's now, so now he's coming out and saying all this, like, bro, allow me, man. Like, I ain't got time for it, man. He's chatting shit. I'm like, it sounds nice. Mouthpiece, I'm doing the right thing now. It took him 20 years at his big age.
Like,
come out of here, man. But I don't think it will change much because at the end of the day, they're still in the power, innit? They own all the media companies, all the major companies in the world, so they can still spin this and do whatever they want to do because they're infiltrated. They're in every powerful position there is in the world. So I'm not sure if this is going to be the start of something bigger, but I hope it is. Because at the end of the day, Palestinians have gone through a madness. They literally lost everything. Like Trump is talking about building a Dubai type equivalent over there. Like, come on, this is so. It is what it is, man. The power is not with the people on this, man. It's whatever they decide in the shadows of their rooms, wherever they meet to make these plans that affects everyone negatively. So I don't know. I think it's BS, man. Like it's long. I'm not gonna play these games. Yeah. Oh, he's finally realized. Get out of here, man.
I don't know how powerful Israel's been over the years and stuff, but it almost just feels as though, like, you know, when you think that you can control someone, you feel like someone's your ally. It feels as though Israel's no longer their ally. And so it feels as though, like, obviously, I mean, we know Israel is going off on one. And I think that I feel like what politicians are trying to do now is just take themselves out of it, so that when it goes very, very south, which Israel continues to threaten, I can't remember what it was I read, was it yesterday, what the latest thing is? But it's like, when
Opinion
it
polls.
does, we don't want our nations, we don't want riots in our countries and all these things, because we've been outrightly supporting them. So let's just make it clear that, hey, we're not on their side for the benefits of our just our lives. You get what I mean? Because I don't know what this is realistically going to do. Does that mean you guys are now having conversation? Who's the current prime minister? I forgot now. I've lost. Starmer. Does that mean where's Starmer stand on this?
And I'm glad you mentioned this, because to me,
He's been supporting them.
100%, and it's not coincidence that this guy
He's a Tory.
is a Tory, and he's talking now when the Tories are no longer in power.
Yeah, exactly.
Another point to criticize the
Labour government. Exactly.
There you go.
So they're all like, it's not, you're not saying that because you're actually now going to lead the charge on justice for Palestine or trying to help Palestine or trying to save it. It's just nice for you to say for your personal ambition, for your personal image, because like you said, if Tories go back in power now, I don't know that he's going to be sitting out now and saying this and that. What do you mean you supported him for the past 20 years? Do you know what that is? And this thing didn't just happen October 12th or October, whatever the date was. Do you get what I mean? So it's just selfishness. But I think they're just trying to cover their backs. Bro.
All right.
Hate to see it.
Well, I think we can pretty much wrap up the topic of the day there. I was going to speak about some updates on the Diddy case. Are you doing Word and Road?
No, not today. Not my first M's.
Then, you know,
I'm trying to work.
Precisely. Just nobody say, hey.
I just popped in to say hello, guys.
Well, then let me give an update then quickly on the Diddy case.
I haven't even caught up with that.
You haven't?
I've been on holiday.
Yeah. Huh?
Did it do it?
Doing a jury.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
jury
yeah,
selection. Okay.
But there's just some stuff that when I heard, I was thinking, oh, this is a bit. I want to see you guys.
I saw that drawing of him though. He looks. He's like Jeffrey Epstein.
He's in trouble, man. Doesn't look good. Yeah. Anyway, with regards to the whole jury stuff, obviously, I think 2 days ago we spoke about them getting down the jury from 150 to about 45 or so. Now, I believe that obviously they're still bringing it down unless they've done it already now. But essentially, there were some people that were dismissed. One guy works at MDC Brooklyn, which is basically a prison or whatever, where Diddy's being held.
Okay.
So in all of this stuff, all the questions they were asking, they've only now realized
That he
at the
works
very
in
end
prison.
that this guy works in the same damn place as Diddy is being held.
I think it's made a hard time selecting the jury though.
Huh?
It's gonna be hard to select the jury.
Well, to be fair, what he says with Fed cases is a lot quicker than civil cases. So it was expected to be done by Wednesday. So right now they're already down to like, I don't know, maybe the 12 already. This is why the judge was annoyed, because he was thinking, wait a minute, now this guy is coming forward to say, I work at MDT where Diddy is. So obviously he could have been, who knows, maybe messages have come from Diddy to him or whatever it may be, pay him off, I don't know. But at least obviously he's come forward and expressed it. Also, they also found out about somebody who worked on the HBO documentary out about Diddy being one of the people.
What's jury? Is Stacey still on the phone? What's jury selection like in America? Because over here you just get a random letter, and what's the odds that I'm going to be the person that's working there?
Yeah, it's different.
You do get a letter.
But is it random select, like from the electoral register?
Yeah, it's randomly selected. I don't know if it's the case for federal stuff. I want to believe so. But you get called for jury duty via the mail. God, please don't let that letter find me anytime soon. And you go there, you report there. You got to do your civil duty, and they you find a way out of it. Some people make an excuse, and the judge accepts it.
Yeah.
Some people, they're like, no, sweetie, time to pay your time.
So what are the odds of these people?
Yeah,
Or like,
you know,
It's New York.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But still, there's
it
like
was
how
still
many
it's
people
like
in
it's
New
like them
York?
calling up Wendy Williams.
You know what I mean?
I hope they do that. It's funny.
But yeah, there was a few other people. Somebody was a survivor of assault and said, you know, they don't really want to be in it because they're not too sure if they can be impartial in the
So
situation.
guilty, bruv. Take my down twice for the justice I never got.
And somebody else said, you know what? Like, as far as I'm concerned, Diddy has the power and the money to buy himself any sort of result he wants. And so when they heard that, they said, my friend,
Get out. That means he could buy you.
But that's right.
He could buy you.
Exactly.
You basically jumping
I
into
feel like-
Diddy, like you say.
If I were to be called to do jury duty for that case, like part of me will be towing the line between get me out of here because God forbid, you know, he makes it out. I don't know. I don't want to be on the side of repercussions because the jury becomes public. So it's not like you can hide, like be anonymous. That's very public information. I don't know if it's public during the case, but for sure after the case, people know who the jurors are or were.
Yeah.
And I think they can talk about the case after it actually plays out. During the case, they can't, but after the case plays out, they can. To me, that just puts a target on your back that I wouldn't want. Then the other part of me is like, I want to know what happened. Like, I want to be in the room, but that can't justify that type of risk. So I don't know.
Well, also wanted to mention that apparently the third victim that was meant to testify in court, it's gone missing, man. They don't know where this person. They're trying to contact her, and they just can't get a hold of her, man. It's crazy what's going on. It's crazy. But
I wish this was televised.
yeah.
I wish.
Like, why isn't it though? What gets
federal.
televised?
It's federal.
Federal.
So, yeah.
The feds is not for entertainment, I fear.
But yeah, so that's the situation with that. But also, I wanted to mention quickly about the people that are kind of in Diddy's corner, right? His defense team. One lady who's part of his team, her dad is like one of these known attorneys, right? He's got a podcast that he does with what's that guy, Harvey Levin, TMZ guy.
Oh yeah.
And he basically made a comment on the podcast saying how the prosecutors are like a 6-pack of white women. Yeah, so this is what he said. And the judge heard this. I was like, wait a minute, why are you talking about the prosecutors like this, innit? Also, what do you call it? Mentioned how he's also got Brian Steele, who's a criminal defense attorney, a legendary guy. He's the guy who basically got Young Thug the deal. Right? So he's on it.
Back again.
Yep. But
Lawyers cannot be good Christians, I swear.
Honestly, yeah. When I wanted to be a lawyer, that was one of the things. I was like, yeah, I can't be a Christian serving the Lord. And that's what I'm doing. Because I'm definitely going there saying, listen, hey, we'll take 30 years. I'm not going in there trying to say he didn't do it. You did. You sicko. You did.
But this is the interesting part. And obviously, because of time, I guess we won't go into it too much. But one of his new attorneys is a black woman called Nicole Westmoreland, right? And she is meant to be amazing. Like, she's sick with the cross-examination. And the reason why I say this is interesting is because, again, besides her being elite and being amazing, she actually helps in the Young Thug case as well. Well, one of his codees, right? But she's also a victim, trigger warning, of sexual assault. So it's kind of interesting that somebody who's been through the same situation is defending Diddy in this particular thing. And I'll give you a bit more information on her situation. Basically, she was, again, trigger warning, guys, trigger warning. She was a victim of rape 24 years ago when she was 19 years old. So at the time, she worked at a business that helped people reinstate their suspended driver's licenses. And in December of 2001, she was invited to Patchwork Studios in Atlanta by Birdman, right? So this was for a pitch meeting to help certain artists and whatnot. So during this meeting, she claimed to end up being at a party. She went to the bathroom and she was followed by a man called Alfred Cleveland, who then raped her, basically, right? She went to the police about the incident, and that particular guy who raped her was arrested. So again, it's not about Birdman, by the way. It's just about the fact that Birdman invited her to one of these party functions and stuff. And he later pleaded guilty and all that sort of stuff to aggravated assault with intent to rape and all that sort of stuff. She also sued Cash Money and Patchwork Studio, but she lost a summary judgment. She appealed a ruling, but her appeal was dismissed back in 2008. Anyway, I say all of that just to say, someone who's been through this, who's a survivor herself, is on Diddy's defense team.
Yeah, that
So
don't mean
it's-
nothing. Though.
Why is that shocking?
Huh?
Why is that shocking?
Because I would assume that somebody like her is who typically the prosecutors would want in the jury. Do you get what I'm saying?
No.
And she's, what do you mean no? Of course you would.
That's
You
an
would-
advantage.
Oh yeah, that's to be like, take him
It's
down.
advantage, man.
exactly.
Yeah.
But but pardon me, is on the team of Diddy.
Yeah, but she might not have dealt with her
Right.
situation because people block these things out.
Oh,
No, or that could be an advantage.
for who?
For Diddy.
Yeah,
How?
that's what I'm saying. So it could be because
You have a difference of perspective
Yeah,
instead of the
that's
echo
what I'm
chamber.
saying.
Like you have, if you have a victim on, this sounds so fucked, but if you have a victim on your team, of course you're not a question a victim, alleged,
Mm.
because you've been there, done that. So surely you have firsthand account of the psychology of what someone is thinking, and you're well learned on the court of law. What
and
the
you
hell,
and you might be able to
superpower?
say and ask certain questions to catch them out because
Exactly.
you've experienced it yourself.
So what side is she on? Is she on Diddy's team or
on Diddy's team.
But how
Diddy's
is it an
team.
advantage to Diddy though?
Because
Because if
gonna
you're
be
trying to get your
cross-examining.
client out of jail and she's a Christ, in fact, she has the perfect combination of nonsense. If you're
Mind
trying
game.
to get your client out of jail and you're a cross-examiner, who are you cross-examining? The alleged victims. If you yourself are a victim, surely you understand firsthand the psychology of someone who has been victimized. So you can, if you understand the court of law as well, you know the loopholes around which the picture you need to paint.
Oh, I get it now. Oh, she does that. She's going to hell.
Well,
Mind games, Esther.
If she does that, that's actually like she's definitely
American law has no morals, bro.
Lucifer's gonna welcome her in specially.
But remember, guys, the court case is not about whether he harmed Cassie in it. It's about the trafficking. It's about the prostitution. So it's a different.
That's why Cassie's a
thing.
witness, though.
She
Yeah,
is. She's
and
the
that means nothing.
One of the main things. But remember, it's different, though, isn't it? So
The
so that
way-
might be why she's okay with this particular thing. You
No,
what I mean?
no,
Because
no.
about trafficking.
I get the point that you're trying to make, but I think the way we think about law, maybe as Americans, so I don't know, speaking for Americans here, I think the way people generally think law is not the way law is. Law is a sentence, right? And if you can find a loophole around the sentence as it exists in black and white, like if I say the sky is blue, a lawyer can tell you no, actually the sky is aqua because the law says it
Yeah.
is blue. The Rex code for blue is 1, 2, 3, 4, when actually the sky is 4, 5, 6, 7. That is their job. So to you as a regular consumer, it's like this makes perfect sense. But these people have learned their way around legal language to defend people like murderers, rapists, etc. And that's what they're gonna do.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to give you some updates on the situation so far. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
That's crazy.
Thank you very much. Stacey got us.
Thank
Did anybody else
y'all.
call up? No.
I think that was it.
All right. Brent, let's move on to the headlines.
All right, just
you
reading
go.
out the results of the poll. Question was the court of public opinion versus the courtroom. Whose verdict matters the most? 43% say the courtroom, facts over feelings. 17% say public opinion, power of the people. And 40% said neither. It's all performative now.
I voted that.
All right, then. Let's get into the headlines.
All right, people. So our next set of headlines. There is a new pope, guys. There's a new pope. U.S. Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost has been chosen as the new pope. He was confirmed by senior Cardinal Dominique Mamberti, who came out onto the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica to cheering crowds. Announcing the news, he said the famous Latin words, habemus papam, meaning we have a pope.
Oh, shut up.
It's important information.
What's the need for a
There's a
pope?
billion Catholics, you know.
What is the need for a pope?
It's Christ on earth.
No, them alleged young boys.
That's basically, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Let's see what- I don't know what you mean.
He's the representative.
Never try to feel a sentence with, you know what I mean? I don't bloody know. That's what I'm saying.
He's seen as God's representative here. You know what I mean? For them, for
The
Catholic
blasphemy
Church.
that really goes, people just see God as, if this was the days where like people would just say something and God just opens the earth, be empty. So empty.
Yes. So the 69-year-old Chicago-born cardinal will take the name Leo the 14th.
So that's not his name.
No. They take names, isn't it?
Leo is not biblical
No.
for representative of Christ.
Yeah, but they got, I don't know. But yeah, Leo the 14th. I'm reading it in Roman numerals. So yeah, I think it's 14 anyway.
Where's the XIV?
Yeah.
Yeah, 14.
And in his first public words as Pope, he said, "May peace be with you all."
Shut up. How is that his first? That's the speech he gives.
Don't you want peace? He says he wants peace.
Not through him. So that's what he said.
Well, no, he said more. And
then drop mic.
Yeah, he said more. But speaking of Pope Francis, who died on Easter Monday, he said the Pope that blessed Rome gave his blessing to the whole world on that Easter morning. So let us follow up that blessing. He then added, together we must try to find out how to be a missionary church, a church that builds bridges, establishes dialogues.
Easter Monday is the day Jesus has shown himself to disciples, right? Am I right? Because Easter Sunday resurrected.
Yeah. He showed himself on Sunday though.
Huh?
He showed himself on Sunday as well.
Yeah, but like Monday was like the day,
Yeah.
the day. That's like the day to be seen kind of vibe, right? I don't think the irony should be lost on anybody that the day the Lord showed himself, that we celebrate him showing himself, was the day that the Pope had to show himself.
Can you imagine?
Because dying on Easter Monday is wow.
But one
Enough.
might say...
That's what was... Enough. That's what was said. Enough. Enough of this.
You've had your time.
Get him up.
Oh, man.
Davina has an announcement.
Okay, so Davina said, Brent, I mentioned at the start of the show, but I don't think you'd seen it. It's the 1 year anniversary of my daughter's discharge from the neonatal unit.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank God, man. Thank God. That's a good way to claim this.
Blessed this Sunday.
Oh, nice.
What's blessed this Sunday mean?
Going
Like
to church and doing something.
You're such a heathen.
Because you put.
He said, do. You said did. He said, do some. Like it's a potion. Do some. Oh, was that like a dedication thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's so lovely. Thank God, man.
Well done.
Big up you, Davina.
Amazing.
100%. Next headline, trigger one on this one. And Luis de Souza, he was given a whole life order for the murder of Met Police Sergeant Matt Ratana, has lost bids to challenge his conviction and sentence at the Court of Appeal. De Souza is 27 years old and was told that he would die behind bars back in July 2023 after being convicted of Sergeant Ratana's murder the previous month. Sergeant Ratana died in hospital after being struck by 2 bullets in a holding cell in Croydon, South London in September 2020. All applications will be refused, but reasons which we will give in writing at a hearing on Thursday, basically told the Court of Appeal that he should be allowed to challenge his conviction and sentence. Basically, this is De Souza's barrister saying this. They're saying all applications will be refused, but the reasons they're going to give to the court in writing, and it will show that he should be allowed to challenge his conviction and sentence on the grounds that he was wrongly deemed fit to plead and stand trial, and that his sentence should not have been a whole life order. This is their argument, basically. They're in Victoria, and Mr. Justice Goss and Mrs. Justice Chima Grubb dismissed their appeal bids completely, and then Victoria herself said all applications will be refused for the reasons which we will give it in writing too. So right back at them pretty much. Next headline, trigger one on this one as well, people. And a teenager has been found guilty of attempted murder after stabbing a complete stranger at Notting Hill Carnival. Romani Tuit attacked his victim shortly after 8 p.m. on August 26 last year. The 19-year-old was seen verbally arguing with someone in the crowd before taking a huge zombie knife from his waistband and thrusting it towards the people in front of him. His victim, also aged 19, was stabbed at least 5 times by the 10-inch blade, causing life-threatening injuries. Tuit had never met his victim before, and a motive for the attack has never been established. Police immediately intervened and arrested Tuit at the scene, provided medical treatment to the victims until paramedics were able to reach him. Tuit is from Walthamstow, by the way, guys, of Sutherland Road. He stood trial at the Old Bailey, and earlier yesterday, was found guilty of attempted murder and possession of a bladed article. That's in the headlines, guys. Time to pay them bills. Let's get into the People's Journal. All right, people, welcome to the People's Journal, where we give you the news from an economics point of view. I'm not going to spend too long on this, but it's been a while since we had a People's Journal. I just wanted to let everybody know that the UK interest rates have been cut to 4.25% from 4.4%. And the governor of the Bank of England, Andrew Bailey, has hinted that more could follow in the coming months. I believe some analysts were saying that this year, 2025, they believe there could be four cuts. About 4 cuts. And with Andrew Bailey saying this, it looks like that is something that's likely to occur. But he did say that he would not give prediction as to when and how much. But he did say that it was still the view that the path gradually and carefully is downwards, right? He also welcomed the UK-US deal on tariffs and said it was important in terms of it being a signal of more things to come, more positive things to come for the economy. He also said maybe we need a bit of a jolt to the system to remind us that trade is important. You know what I'm saying? And he said that he also said, that he hopes the likes of deals between the UK and the US and the UK and India as well will also help to rebuild the world trading system. Obviously, the other day we spoke about the UK deal that was very specific to India, and how Starmer hopes that by 2030 it will positively impact the GDP of the UK by 0.1%. Obviously, Kim Baynock said it was a diabolical idea by basically doing this whole two-tier tariff deals and things of that nature. But of course, you've got an economist here in Andrew Bailey saying, you know what, I think this is something that's positive. He also did mention that with this whole up and down of the economy, this could impact the economy negatively. I believe he said by 2027, with a decrease in the GDP of 0.3%. So imagine all of this could happen in a shorter time with a bigger impact than the particular deal that the UK did with India. But obviously, overall, he's basically saying it's a positive thing, because obviously the sooner we get everything back on track, everyone knows where they stand, we can move forward and hopefully get to grow in this economy again. With regards to this whole UK-US tariff deal, again, I mentioned in the first headline that there isn't much information on it. And I believe a lot of business owners are basically saying, listen, stop just saying there's a deal has been met. We want to know the details, innit? Because I don't know, and we don't really know where we stand. And so I just wanted to give some information for the business owners out there. You never know who's listening. But generally, again, just to repeat myself, what I said earlier in the show, Donald Trump's blanket 10% tariffs on imports from countries around the world will remain in place. And this still applies to most UK goods entering the US, right? But the deal has been reduced, or in some cases, the tariffs have been removed on some of the UK's exports. And this includes cars, steel, and aluminium. So just wanted to mention quickly that Trump has placed import taxes of 25% on cars and car parts coming into the US on top of the existing 2.5%, right? So this has been cut to 10% for a maximum of 100,000 UK cars, which matches the number of cars that the UK exported last year. But any cars that are exported above that 100,000 will be subject to a 27.5% import tax, right? By the way, cars are the UK's biggest export to the US, right? And this is worth about £9 billion per year. Well, it was £9 billion last year anyway. Obviously, I mentioned there's no tariffs on steel and aluminium. So this is obviously going to be good for British Steel, firms like British Steel, which was brought under the government control, as you guys know, because it struggled to stay operational. These things occur. It's a diabolical shit, right? But the UK exports a relatively small amount of steel and aluminium to the US anyway. It's only around, I say only, but it's about £700 million in total. However, the tariffs also cover products that are made with steel and aluminium. So this also includes things like gym equipment, furniture, machinery, and these are worth far more. So that basically comes to about £2.2 billion, which is about 5% of UK exports to the US last year. With regards to pharmaceuticals, people just don't know. I can't give you any information on this, man. Nobody knows, right? They still don't know. So once I know, I'll let you people know, right? But a statement from the UK government said work will continue on the remaining sectors such as pharmaceuticals and remaining reciprocal tariffs. Most countries, including the US, imposed few or no tariffs on finished drugs as part of an agreement to keep medicines affordable. I don't know what affordable means in America, because I don't know what is affordable in that country. Honestly, I really don't know. There's been no change to the UK's 2% digital services tax on US firms. And basically, this affects those businesses that run social media, right? So this is how it works, right? You've got businesses that run social media, search engines, online marketplaces, all the big names that you're thinking of, Meta, Google, Apple, all of them people right there, they're affected by this. But bear this in mind, firms only have to pay it if they raise more than £500 million in global revenues and £25 million from UK users annually. Obviously, those three names I mentioned do that easily anyway, right? But it's still only 2%. That's all they pay, right? And the UK reportedly netted nearly £360 million from these tech firms via tax in its first year. Instead of any change to the digital services tax, the UK and America, they agreed to work on a digital trade deal. So this is what the UK government said in its statement as well. They said that this would strip back the paperwork for British firms trying to export to the US, opening the UK up to a huge market that will put rocket boosters on the UK economy. It sounds good, but if there's no change, I don't understand what we're talking about here. Apparently, the last thing I wanted to mention is the UK has removed tariffs on American beef, right? And other agricultural products. I hope you guys are kind of getting what I'm trying to say here, because this is the reason why some people are saying the UK got shafted in this deal. A lot of changes are happening, at least in terms of reducing things on the UK side, right? And the increases are happening for America's benefit, right? But anyway, UK farmers have been given a tariff-free quota for 13,000 metric tons of exports, which Trade Minister said for the first time, said it was the first time the British farmers had been given this kind of deal, right? So there'll be no weakening of UK food standards on imports. So anything that's coming from America, yeah, we're still keeping that same standard, this, that, and the third. But bear this in mind, the reason why this is kind of significant is because a lot of American farmers, as you guys know, use growth hormones, right? So they're pumping you've seen the documentaries on Netflix and things of that nature, and they're pumping their cows with all sorts of chemicals to get them henching as strong as bloody gorillas, right? But and it's funny, just a little side note, this is basically what happened in Mexico. So in Mexico, they pump their beef with certain chemicals as well. Well, some farmers do anyway. And this is what allegedly Canelo ate when they found PEDs in his system when he took the drug test, isn't it? So he was like, it's not me taking the drug test.
It's the cow.
The PEDs willingly.
I mean, they
it's
cooked
the
cow,
the beef I ate.
grilled the meat, everything.
Yeah, 100%.
Just stay strong and true.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? But at least, he was banned for 6 months. He fights every 6 months anyway, so the ban didn't do anything. But he was banned. Anyway, that's just a side note. I just wanted to say this is something that's kind of normal, unfortunately. It's only back home. How was the meat back home? Like the cow.
First of all, Nigerians really love turkey. I've never really been a turkey girl, but I'm now on a turkey bandwagon. Did I eat suya? Like a shawarma, I did.
Okay.
Actually, beef is not really my go-to like that.
Okay.
Yeah, beef is not really my go-to, but
from what you remember from back in the day, anyway, it's fresher than eating it here, isn't it?
Yes.
But
I can't even say. I don't want people adding list of things to my country.
I know you're gonna say.
But if you know, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, the last thing is also Trump pretty much hinted that tariffs on China, remember how high and crazy they were, may drop. Why? Because they're basically gonna sit down and talk in it. So he said, you can't get any higher, man. It's at 145. So we know it's going to come down, right? And this is obviously him just referring to the new taxes since he returned to the White House that he imposed on China, and obviously saying that when we sit down, we're going to talk. So if anything, it's going to go down. How low? We don't know. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the People's Journal. Right, let's get into some more headlines. All right, people. So Senate Democrats blocked a first-of-its-kind bill aimed at regulating cryptocurrency in the America, in the US amid Democratic concerns over President Donald Trump's cryptocurrency dealing. So a vote came after months of intense negotiations between Democrats and Republicans. The final tally was 49-48, right? The bill, dubbed the Genius Act, focused on what is known as stablecoin, which is a digital currency tied to the value of a specific asset, in this case, the US dollar. Obviously, people who know about crypto know what that is, right? The push for the bill represented a rare bipartisan effort in the Senate for major legislation. But while there is a general agreement across the Senate that regulation is necessary, key Democrats ultimately balked on moving ahead after demanding changes to the legislation. After it became clear that Senate Republicans planned to put the bill on the floor this week, 9 Senate Democrats who had been open to backing the bill penned a letter last Saturday saying that they needed further changes to the legislation beyond addressing concerns over Trump's crypto dealings before they could vote to advance it, right? So that's just something to keep a heads up for those, especially who really kind of keep the ear to the ground with regards to cryptocurrency. Earlier this week, we let you guys know about the conflict, man, between India and Pakistan. And long story short, tensions between the two countries have reached their most dangerous level since 2019, following a series of missile strikes, retaliatory threats, and mounting civilian casualties on both sides of the border. In the early hours of Wednesday morning, Indian missiles struck several locations across Pakistan and Pakistan-administered Kashmir. One of the most significant attacks hit the town of Muridke in Punjab province, long associated with militant networks. These strikes targeted at least 24 sites, and they were launched in response to what New Delhi claims was a deadly attack on Indian tourists in Kashmir last month, allegedly carried out by Pakistan-based militants. So again, this is the reason for this particular thing. Apparently, over the last few years, India had been telling them, when I say them, talking about Pakistan, that they need to keep these people in check, these militants, because they keep attacking Indian people. And Pakistan are basically saying it's nothing to do with us. We don't even acknowledge it, right? And obviously, India had enough, and this is what they did. And that's why they basically did what they did the other day. The Indian government says that the strikes are affiliated with a series of what it considers terrorist groups responsible for a number of very high-profile attacks, most notably the 2008 attacks in Mumbai. And our last headline, the billionaire and Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates pledged on Thursday to donate almost his entire fortune by 2045. The philanthropist aims to give away around $200 billion to the world's poor via his foundation. It's what all billionaires do, to be fair. You know what I mean? Which obviously I'm not trying to take away from it being good. I've used it as an argument on the show before. They typically only give like their family like 1%. I think Warren Buffett's got a similar sort of...
1% of $1 billion.
Yeah.
Is that much guys?
It's a lot. It's a
Honestly.
lot. But still, like 99+% or whatever it is, 98%, 99% given to charities, you know what I mean? To help the
Does
world.
$1 billion have just one more zeros than $1 million?
No, 3 more zeros, you know? Yeah.
So that's like...
Crazy.
How many zeros is that? That's 100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's like 9 zeros. No, 8
billion.
zeros.
Yeah. What, for 1%?
Is that it? No, so like how many billion?
That's $1 billion.
So that's $1 billion, right? Let's see what 1% is. 1% is $1 million.
No, it'll be 10 million.
Maybe 10 million. So I missed a zero.
Yeah.
Oh, that's more than enough. I could do with 1%.
Yeah.
I take 0.5%.
Mm-hmm. Wait, sounds $1 billion?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
I take that.
But yeah, man, with a fortune today estimated at $108 billion, Gates is among the richest people in the world. Although he was named the richest man on earth by Forbes for several consecutive years until 2018, he is today the 13th richest person in the world, man. The announcement comes at a time when several governments, and in particular the United States, have significantly slashed funding for humanitarian aid. The cuts made to USAID, which is the US government's agency for humanitarian aid, have endangered public health, education and social programs in countries around the world. I think the other day he was talking about how, I think he said, either he said Trump or Elon Musk is responsible for killing people basically in Africa, or basically wherever USAID is basically being withheld. And that's pretty much the end of the headlines, man. Time to pay them bills.
All right. Sorry, I forgot. I thought that was mine.
Let's get to the
What's the
reaction.
I just put up the music. It's not like you press pause.
That was supposed to be the... There we go.
There's been a lot of football going around recently. It's affecting my dating life. So that's fun.
Excuse me?
It is. It's affecting my dating life.
Is it because of Arsenal?
Oh no, my baby supports the winning team.
PSG, yeah?
No.
Oh,
Manchester United, yeah.
Alright, fair enough.
It's August when they lose. It's very silent. Is this right? I've got a stitch in my stomach.
That they won yesterday?
Like this results here. It says Manchester. Oh yeah, they did win 4-1, didn't they?
Yeah.
So they played. Manchester United played Athletic Bilbao.
Yeah.
And they beat them 4-1. Bodo Glimt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tottenham Hotspur played, and Tottenham won that with 2-0.
Mm-hmm.
And there was the Conference League, is what the UEFA Conference League, and Chelsea beats Gardens IF, I think they're called, 1-0. And then Florentina and Real Betis drew 2. Football's fun.
Nailed it.
Thank you very much. So, is there like boxing going on, anything like that?
Yes, there is actually. But before we get there, just wanted to ask Brent, what do you think about this all English final, man?
Apparently, no, this place is going to be the spot for live watch-alongs, isn't it?
Okay.
I guess it's setting a nice little precedent for things to come. But the fact that it's happened organically, I guess it's a blessing, right? It's foreboding. Who is going to win? Man United or Tottenham? Tottenham. I think that somehow Man United is going to win, right? On paper, I don't think it's supposed to happen like that because I believe that Tottenham has a better team than United. But I do believe legacy and obviously me wanting Marks to be happy. I think United might clinch it. And I think Bruno's going to be involved. I think Ahmad is going to be involved. I think Maguire somehow is going to be involved, right? Onana's going to do something stupid, right? Because it's Onana. But it's going to be a very interesting 21st of May. I think is that it? Nah, probably not it. I don't know when it is. If it's a Thursday, I think it's Thursday. Or is the final going to be on a Saturday? I don't know, but wherever it is, it's going to be live over here. That is it. That's all I have.
All right.
That's all I have.
All right. Well, like I said, there is some boxing, man. There is some boxing. It's not as, you know what? I was going to say it's not as exciting or as big as last week's boxing.
Is that a Chris Eubank one?
No, that was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
2 or 3 weeks ago. But last week was Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, Devin Haney, Ramirez. It was meant to be a great weekend, but it turned out to be absolute nonsense. Worst boxing output in like 40 years. In terms of punches landed and whatnot. But what we can somewhat guarantee, I believe anyway, is that on the 10th, I believe it is, there's a big fight in the UK, live in Nottingham. It's going to be on DAZN, by the way. It's going to be between Anthony Kakache and Lee Wood. Now, both of these guys are good, right? Both of them junior lightweights, by the way. Both of them good at what they do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get into a bit more information about Lee Wood, yeah, because Lee Wood is not someone to me that is kind of, that I rated like that. But the guy always finds a way. I'm trying to remember of the guy that he fought. It was an Irish guy. I love the fight. The Irish guy was basically boxing like a black fighter, bro. The guy smooth, but he don't have punch resistance. So he dominated the entire fight. Last round, he gets donged, right? And that's it. Just gone, just like that. After totally dominating the fight. And Lee Wood has a habit of doing that. So you just can't count Lee Wood out. You know what I'm saying? When he hits you, yeah, he just changes it. I don't want to say he's like a white, smaller Wilder, but basically that's the sort of reputation that seems to be kind of following him now. Both of them, he did the same thing against Joshua Warrington. I think that was his last fight. Joshua Warrington, again, he's been around for such a long time anyway. And I'm not too sure if Joshua Warrington is going to be retiring soon, if he's retired already. But he's going down that path. But Joshua Warrington was doing a good job against Lee Wood. But I think it was the 7th round, 8th round, I can't remember, when Lee Wood hit him. And it was lights out. Just like that. I thought the referee kind of stopped it too soon. But of course, Lee Wood would have got to him if the referee didn't jump in and would have got him out of there. So I understand the stoppage. But yeah, Kakachi's also fought Josh Warrington, beat him as well. Beat Joe Cordina as well. And those were his last 2 fights. So this is going to be a good fight, man. It's got the makings of a good fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to that. Also wanted to mention that Navarrete is going to be fighting as well. He's going to be fighting Charlie Suarez, but this is going to be in California on the same day and all that. It's going to be on ESPN and whatnot, but that's going to be in America. Navarrete he's a good boxer. If you know him, yeah, you know he gets busy. He's a junior lightweight as well. But some bigger news, well, for us in the UK, it's big news. Apparently, there's going to be a Matchroom versus Queensbury 5 versus 5 competition again. So obviously, if you guys remember, Queensbury battered them and like 10-0 basically. All the Queensbury fighters showed up. They won all their fights, some stoppages if I remember correctly. And yeah, it was bad for Matchroom, bad for Eddie Hearn, but they're looking to do another one in Saudi Arabia. And why do I mention this? I mention this because one of the fights people are saying is likely to happen is going to be between Callum Smith and Anthony Yard. So we may be getting the fight that we've been asking for. It's a shame because I think many others wanted it to be Anthony Yard versus Boazzi. That's the fight we've been asking for years now. But obviously Boazzi lost in a very good fight, very tight fight against Callum Smith, and it kind of resurrected Callum Smith's career. It showed everyone that Callum Smith still got something. I saw Boazzi winning that fight. Callum Smith, again, he's a former world champion. You know what I'm saying? So you can't fully like rule him out, and he's got the attributes. Tall guy, but the way he got disposed of against Bertbiev, and maybe I shouldn't have used that as a gauge because Bertbiev gets rid of everybody anyway, except Bivol, right? But he's just seen as though Callum Smith was done. He didn't show up against Canelo. He didn't show up against Bertbiev. He was a former world champion, but it seemed like he was on his way out, and that fight with Boazzi was going to be a big payday. Him show up and make it a good, tight fight, but still lose. But he did his thing, man, and he won the fight, and now he's got a big fight potentially, hopefully, anyway, in August against Anthony Yard. Anthony Yard's performance, last one, wasn't that great. We spoke about this on the show. This was against Lyndon Arthur. He won, but by decision. But yeah, that's basically the fight that I think a lot of people are looking forward to. Hopefully it does materialize. And we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, whoever wins that potentially will have a chance to get a world championship. A shot at the world championship. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, all the belts are held by Bivol and by Bivol anyway. But yeah, they're going to be doing the trilogy, I believe. Yes, it's looking like that's what's going to happen. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Besides that, I don't think there's anything else that I need to mention with regards to boxing. I'm seeing in the chat people are saying, have I seen the Eubank? No, I've not seen it. But have I seen the Eubank podcast on Stephen Bartlett's podcast? What's it called? DOAC, Diary of something. I've not seen it. I've seen the thumbnail pop up on my feed, but I've not watched it yet. To be honest with you, I wasn't looking to watch it. But yeah, there's nothing else, man. I think we can kind of wrap it up there.
All right, then.
Let's get into the wrap up.
Chijoke says, Brent and Iman don't want to hear my opinion anymore. They think I talk too much.
You guys fired Chijoke?
No, you have all the wisdom, man. What are you talking about? Obviously, I'm joking. I didn't mean it that way. But
Why are you in it?
Or
What do
me?
you do?
What do you mean, Chijoke?
Is that joint accomplice? What's the word? Joint enterprise?
Any word used is the wrong word for me, to be honest.
Well, I mean joint. Joint is right.
Yeah, man.
I don't know why I'm involved, to be honest.
Oh yes, Life of Bodge is right. Yeah, Benavides got one of the belts. Yeah, they stripped before. If it's, I believe it's IBF. IBF they be stripping guys every single time. Pause, by the way. But yeah, they
stripping.
do. Yeah, they just
How's
they
that
take the
pause?
yeah, because it's stripping men, innit? IBF.
But so when you guys say strippers, you don't say pause for that.
No.
Clowns.
No, that's not. That's a play. That's a play.
That's that's clear.
Anyway, guys, let's get into the wrap up.
Sinners or something. And she was talking about, I can't remember how we started, but she basically said, it was when she was talking about like Michael B. Jordan. Oh yeah, she was saying there's like a year where she had to answer to a man about her crush, about her tweets about Michael B. Jordan. And I think she must have just tweeted something, I can't remember what she tweeted. But anyway, the guy was like, you're starting to disgust me. And something he said just reminded me of that. It made me laugh. Like he said, you're starting to disgust me. That's horrible.
Guys, it's been a good show, man. Today, we spoke about the US and the UK agreeing to a deal. We spoke about the charity that was linked to Prince Harry admitting human rights abuses, guys, in Congo Park, man. We also spoke about Constance Martin, who cross-examined, who was cross-examined by her partner, Mark Gordon, and how she criticized her wealthy biological family. We also spoke about the Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost now becoming the new Pope. He will now be Pope Leo XIV. We spoke about the killer of Met Sergeant Matt Ratana loses his appeal for his sentence and whatnot. He was sentenced to a whole life order, but he's lost the appeal. No one's trying to listen to what his argument is. And also, we heard about the teen who's found guilty of using the zombie knife to attack strangers.
So scary.
At Notting Hill Carnival, yeah, man. We spoke about the Senate Democrats also trying to block the first of its kind bill that would basically regulate cryptocurrency in America. Why? Because they're concerned over Trump's crypto dealings, man. They don't want him to have too much control. And also, tensions again flare between India and Pakistan. Hopefully, like I was saying this week, I really hope that dies down, man. I don't know what I'm basically banking it on basically, but yeah, I just don't want that to escalate, man. Also, billionaire Bill Gates is looking to donate almost his entire personal wealth by 2045. And for topic of the day, we spoke about what matters most, man. Whose verdict matters most? The courtroom, the jurors in the courtroom, or you guys, the jurors in the public? You know what I'm saying? The court of public opinion. Obviously, we spoke about Jonathan Majors, spoke about Israel, spoke about Diddy. And of course, we had the Queen back in the building. And yeah, man.
Did you guys talk about you don't watch TDA, you actually don't know what's going on in the world. Like, it's crazy. Did you guys talk about Prince Harry's interview?
No.
Oh, it was bank holiday, wasn't it? It was bank holiday. Because I don't know what's happening. Because I'll be honest, I saw clips and I just told people just bring back the old clips.
I think I saw it somewhere. Like I saw like a
justice for Harry, but I don't know what's going on anymore.
I think it's linked to this whole thing. Remember he stepped down from a charity, yeah? A black woman in a charity basically accused them of doing something to her. Not physically, but doing something to her in the charity. I think they wanted to remove her. And she's like, well, you can't treat me like this. And she basically said certain things about the charity. He stepped down. And I think this same charity is the one that's linked to what we spoke about today with the atrocities that happened in Congo. So I think that's it. If I'm connecting the dots correctly, Chijuke, please tell me if I'm.
You don't go Chijuke for sports. You're calling for Prince Harry. That's crazy work.
He knows. I'm telling you.
Anyway, as always, please follow us on socials. The Day After TNB on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, not Twitter, X, and also on Discord. A lot of conversations happen on there.
Yes.
Do all of that great stuff. Nice to be back.
It's good to have you back.
Thank you very much.
And yeah, man, people have a blessed
oh my gosh, it's the weekend. Have a great weekend.
Oh, in fact, last thing before I go, again, guys, ACLT.
Yes.
ACLT.
If you can donate blood, please do.
Please, yeah, man. All we have is ourselves. We say it every day. Like, obviously, generally, I'm speaking about the economics of our community, but
and everything else.
But in this regard, like, literally,
Quite literally,
it's only us that can save ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we're so underrepresented on the donations, blood donor list and whatnot, stem cells list as well. But we're the ones who basically need assistance from us. You know what I'm saying? It's only black people typically that can help other black people. So guys, come on, man. Let's turn up 31st of May and potentially, God willing, save someone's life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But yeah, have a blessed weekend, everybody.
Have a great weekend. See you Monday. Bye.
Peace.